Hello, wonderful peoples, ladies and gentlemen, and those non-binary folks. Welcome to the Talent League. I am Pyro, and I am joined by my beautiful, fun-loving guy, Golu. Golu, how are you today?
Doing all right, a little bit sleepy, but we'll get over it. You know what? It's always worth arousing from one's mighty slumber to watch some good games of Siege.
Yeah, I love coming from sleeping to cast some siege, especially with you, Golu. Only
Oh,
when
thank
it's
you.
with you. I always love you, and I always will. Don't take that out of don't take that out of context, though, please.
Slept.
But today we actually have two games. We have the minor and we have a best out of two in the major. So first, obviously, it's our minor games today, and we have got Team Invictum versus Team Aura here, Golu. Both of them are relatively close in the leaderboard. Invictum in 7th position and Team Aura in 8th position. So a very close game we're going to have today.
Yeah, our two bottom feeders trying to battle it out for the scraps at the bottom, and I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they can bring, right? Invictum have made some changes more recently and are so far struggling to reap the rewards of those changes. And maybe time is just all that's needed for this roster to find its footing, and perhaps we'll see them starting to see the semblance of something stronger. But for the time being, it hasn't been great. Or another team which I think a lot of people expected a little bit more from.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with you there. They were supposed to be towards the middle or towards the top end of the
Mm,
minor division, but they've seemed to have a shaky start, you could say. It's definitely been a shaky start to their season. So they need to start getting some momentum going into these final sort of 5 games. I think there's left to play. Five, 6 games, if I remember. Yeah, I think it is actually 5 games left to play. So half the season's still left to go. They need to start to get onto a roll, start pushing them towards the top of the table to get into those playoffs positions.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it'd be interesting to see what the expectation from this one is. But let's find out what the polls are from our staff predictions. See where the rest of the talent league lineup reckon that this game will go. Oh, oh, oh,
Oh, do we want a
oh!
drum roll?
That is a
It's very
that's a
nice. It's
that's a
actually
pretty close margin.
it's closer than you can actually get, can't you, Golo? 50-50 for each of the sides. So it's very much going to be a toss of a coin for this game. And I think it can be like that. Both the teams are very close on points. They're actually on the exact same amount of points. So it's it will be hard to judge, hard to separate these two teams. But what will separate these teams is the map choice. And the map we are going to today is Chalet, Golu. Chalet, I actually love Chalet as a map. I think I've said this every time. I actually think I say that every map's a wonderful cast to do, and it's just a plethora of strategies of things that can actually happen in this game. So both our teams are actually ready to go into this game today. So we will start this best out of one series off with a bang. What are the bands going to be here, Gola? What sort of bands are we looking for from both of these teams, operator wise?
There's a couple different options, right? But your usual suspects on a chalet game, you're looking for things like that Thatcher who never seems to elude being able that removal through the bans. Teams just feeling that those EMPs are a little bit too flexible, especially on a map like Chalet, where you can get a lot of multi-purpose action from them. You can shut down, well, mute jammers, bandit batteries, electro claws to get through the breach, but also those magnets and ADSs to try and hold onto shields. Instead, it's going to be the sledge taken off the board very early on, which is very interesting to see gotten rid of. Yes, you lose access to one of those operators with the frag grenades, but that sledgehammer that he wields, being able to redecorate the map, specifically on that horizontal, on the vertical plane, when you're looking down into the site below, particularly going to be an impactful ban for both of these middle floor bomb sites, but there's the Thatcher to go with it.
Both of the SAS soldiers on the attacking side off the board. I would have preferred maybe a book from the attacking side. There's a lot more you can do, especially if you go towards bottom floor, but Sledge is still a very good ban. But on the defense, the Thatcher cannot be paired without the Cade, so the Cade is off the board. a very strong operator for this map, but it's not as strong as it is on other maps. You can shoot the Cades from below, so you have to be very thrifty of where you would put them in that case. But on the other hand, Mirror is also off the board from the defensive side, so that rounds up our bans here. And a very nice set of bans, except for maybe the Sledge. I have a few doubts about the Sledge ban, but what can we say? First round, the first defensive round, more importantly, or Esports, have gone to Bar Gaming, what is known as the primary site for this map, you could say, Golo.
Yeah, it's very popular among these teams just because you have quite a bit of space to play around, and you're seeing this lineup. There's quite a bit of denial, right? You've got the Wamai, you've got the Jaeger to protect the shield, only one being brought. That's in the pocket of smoke, and I'd imagine to see that get placed at the top of Ivy Stairs. Seal on this castle is going to be more of the interesting piece to this defense. I think this
Defenders,
could be
protect your
why they
bombs from
wanted to
being
lean
defused
into
by
that
attackers.
sledge ban partially as well. These external castle barricades are very easy to get rid of for the attack if you have a sledge on the table, because you
Bomb
can
located
walk up
by
to them and
attackers.
hit them with that hammer, which has 25 charges. So effectively infinite. Realistically, you'll never see a sledge run out of uses. By getting that off the board, it does force you to invest more utility into removing these barricades.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think the thing they're going to have to do is use an ace charge, use one of those Sophia impact grenades, or even risk it
10
with a
seconds
breaching
left before
charge.
insertion.
Now, breaching charges are good for on windows, but where it has a
5 seconds to
filter
go.
is on doors. Because if you run up to put a breaching charge, if you can just
Attackers
barely
are
with
heading
that
out
gap
to
between
defuse
the
the
actual
bomb.
castle barricade and the actual floor, there's a little gap that you could shoot the toes off with someone. So I have seen that used quite a lot of times as a tactic with banning the sledge and playing the castle for those sort of reasons. But more importantly, going into this round here, we'll see how the attacking team will choose to attack this first site here. They are going to go for a solo push. They're definitely going to push for what we've known as a default push here, pushing from solo, take in towards piano, opening up that piano single wall right where the office is, and then just trying to get rid of the top blue stairs. Shield that normally plays out, and all the people playing out towards the library side here, Golu. So let's see how this will be.
Yeah, he's trying to apply the pressure. The first pick going the way of Ethan's. He will be punished by Lucan on the repel, though. He's trying to fall back towards piano. So a 1-for-1 exchange early into the round. Seal with this wall opened up, which is unorthodox to say the least. The shield there offering him some support. Oftentimes teams will reinforce that wall instead, because then it forces the hard breach utility to come out from the Habana or the likes of the Ace before you can start throwing utility down towards Ivy. But it means that there is no shield for Ivy. Much more of an aggressive hold from this defensive lineup of Aura. The first Toxic Babe used to try and stall out a little bit of time from this mezzanine balcony window. The hole in the wall opposite is going to cause them some problems, but for the time being, they're just playing their spots patiently.
Oh, that was so close to being a kill there from Scorps, but just missing out, just peeked a little bit too far out there. But I like how Team Invictum are pushing this. They're definitely pushing away. Talking about that though, Scorps has been down from the breach there, but Seal is immediately refragged out. Suki gets a smoke canister kill on the down Scorps from earlier. So it's 3 versus 4 situation at this point. And Invictum still haven't got any top control. Double kill from Luke with a nice kill towards that main stairs side, so they can start to get that control I was talking about, which they didn't have, and put pressure onto the bar. But if you notice something here, Gobi, the hatches are actually reinforced.
Yeah, that will cause some problems for them. Obviously, with the Habana on board, you can get those open up relatively easily. It's just whether you have enough time to be able to do so. Nuzi looking to walk down this main lobby staircase, try and probe in towards the site. He's going to be rewarded with a pick onto Seal. 3 versus 2 advantage for them now, as he's looking for his second, unaware of where these 2 remaining defenders are playing, but 20 seconds on the clock now. They have to start getting a move on into towards the site. Pakamu going to be the first one to fall to Ellie, as they're starting to rush into sight, and well, just like that, Nuzi able to find a double kill for himself in the round, pushing aggressively in to find that last frag.
I like how Newsy did that. He got the initial kill pushing down towards that main stairs side. Got the kill of the player who's playing on that split door. And then after that, all they have to do is push together, get the hatches open. But in that case, they didn't even need to. They pushed down those. Ivy stairs. They pushed down the main stairs and caused it a little bit of trouble for Team Aura there. A nice round, but oh, we're seeing a few. Oh, Ellie, you get me off guard here. I thought we were going to see a Monty coming out here, Golo. I was going to get all excited, a bit giddy there for the Monty and the Shield plays.
It would be interesting to see what how they would choose to run the Monty, but a couple different picks being hovered while we're waiting for the reconnect. You know, you're seeing all sorts of things being hovered. Ellie, obviously, with the fact that you can repick, doesn't really matter what you end up having at the end of the pick phase because you can just change it up on the fly. But it is interesting nonetheless to see the variety that we might be kind of treated to.
We guess, Golu. Guess the operator that Ellie might go here in this position.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Hibana again. I
Yeah, I
think
wouldn't be surprised either.
double hard breacher isn't necessary on Chalet, but they ran it the last round. It didn't work out terribly for them, and I think if you need a little bit of extra flexibility, it can work very well for you. Aura Esports are lined up to go to this kitchen and dining site. The most common way to hold this site is you take that space above where master and office is. You still reinforce it. You still play up to piano with that shield. ADS is protecting that position. And then you just have the ability to drop down below when you need to when time starts to get low. You do have that extra breach to worry about, the dining breach into sight, but provided you have one or two members downstairs, generally you're not under too much pressure of a rush.
Oh, we do see the clash coming out at this position here, Golu. So, a very nice. I did see. I think it could be a replacement for the Mirrors. Mirror's a very strong operator on this kitchen and dining site. We saw it actually in yesterday's stream, the impact that Mirror can have. So maybe they're thinking of using this clash as basically a one-way mirror almost, because you can't shoot through, and you can have people like you can have Pakamu with the SMG-11 or Suki who could peek around that clash shield and get some free picks there. So maybe that's the idea of going clash in this situation.
Well, it is interesting to see that they're going for the clash. I think Clash has a little bit more freedom on this site specifically because there are a lot of exposable windows on the top floor, but on a hold where you're probably falling back a little bit sooner, you're not invested as heavily inside of office. Once you drop back down to the middle floor, you do have a little bit more options. There's a little bit more space for you to maneuver around. Suki, though, looking for this opening pick and a lovely shot onto Hedgehog to find that frag, the Finker off the table very early on, and you lose the frag grenade, you lose the gun 6. You lose that extra health boost that you can offer to your teammates, which can be very helpful, especially into something like the Goyo, especially into something like the Clash. Both of these operators taking away at your HP when you're within their gadget range. We'll have to see how that impacts the rest of this attack.
We still got the Zofia though, so Clash can be dealt with relatively easily if the team is coordinated enough to get through this Clash. But you see how they're playing. They're playing with Ethans close with the shield here, so they can peek out, they can give the pings. You see the 4 pings coming out already, the yellow pings to locate where the opposition is, and then your teammates can act on towards that. Scorp has to be very careful here. Doesn't quite see the head of Ethan's there, but actually gets ran out on by Seal. You see the impact of the clash being used there. They knew he was on that highway balcony, and they were able to act off that information to a T there. Ooh, a nice kill from there from Newsy, and he's actually gone into sight. They've got full site control at this point. All they need to do is get this diffuser down and into the site where Newsy watches this backstairs like he is doing now. There's going to be a gunfight coming out relatively soon here, but I think the Seal here is just going to go back up Solarium, use a Nitro as a bait. Oh, it's actually not a bait. No, he doesn't actually manage to find the twitch there on the bait and on that vertical play there. They are bringing the diffuser around now here, Goldie, so you could get a plank down relatively soon here.
Oh, Lucan able to find the pick onto Seal. Lugoyo playing by the staircase going down. Nuzi able to add to their tally as Suki is off the board as well. And this is a little bit harder now for Ethans and Rosie to retake onto. Yes, you have that clash. You can give you a lot of information, but in the numbers disadvantage, having one less gun to be fragging out with can hurt you. Swapping to that XPS G9 for that purpose. The flashbangs coming in is going to only delay them even more so. And well, look at that. They line up perfectly for the Twitch who's playing on the upwards angle just to try and catch them off guard. The Goyo fire preventing them from walking back into sight, locked out by their own utility.
Yeah, that is the best play you could do as an attacker. Use the defensive utility against themselves. A beautiful use and decision making there to pop the Goyo canister and lock out the site. Because if you guys remember, or if you don't know, chat, the Goyo shield can actually be spread flames for 20 seconds. So that is almost half of the entirety of the defuse time gone out the window almost immediately there. So a beautiful play by Team Invictum. And I have to give a special highlight, a special notice there to Newsy, who when in a 3 versus 4 had complete site control and managed them to get that defuser down relatively quickly and get them the free round there. So Aura Esports, though, are actually going back to the exact same site of kitchen and dining room. What would change here, Golu? Do you think they just have to play downstairs a lot more? Because they started very well to the round. They got that spawn peak, but it all fell apart once the Newsy went into sight.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, right? Because the attack upstairs cleared out some space, but like you say, it was mostly just focused around kitchen. When Newsy inside a trophy just was causing them too many problems, they weren't able to get back down the Solarium staircase as well. They lost 2 members in that position, both Suki and Seal. Now, though, this attack going for something slightly different. Crouch walking up towards the west main lobby, and just trying to see what they can find underneath with the frag grenades. Nothing showing so far, but they're very close to the site here already, Jamie, and they're ready to just walk on in. I don't think the smoke even knows. Still trying to redecorate, still trying to set themselves up with some angles. The shots come through. Nosey's able to get the kill onto the smoke. Oh, the mute, sorry, Apakamu. Whoa, he swings around and gets a double kill onto Seal. There's no way that should be able to land as he's spinning and turning all the way around. Makes it 3. Please, someone stop this man. The Clash de-shielding. Going to poke it back up just to try and give them some relative safety, as Ellie will shut them down when they're forced to turn around. Ethan's going to put the end to this reign of terror from Newsy, his first death of the game. But the Ace, in close proximity, able to seal the deal for the team. And, well, they look a little bit strong here in Invictum on their attacks. And again, just exposing the weakness inside of sight.
Yet again, I have to say, it's Newsy. Newsy one-man show at this point. They had the team coordination to push, crouch walk, basically crouch walk and ult, slow walk the entirety from main garage all the way up those west main stairs. Didn't even bat an eye. Aura Esports taken out almost immediately with 4 quick kills in the first minute of the round, and all they had to do there was get the final kill. An amazing teamwork, amazing coordination, and a beautiful call from the IGL at that point there, Golu. Invictum are storming away with this victory here. Aura Esports do now go towards the top floor, the dual site, the secondary site on this map, which is that bedroom office. Now, this is a lot better site, in my opinion, than kitchen dining, Golu. There's just a more established hold on this top floor. You have the piano where you can move around, you have the support from that 90 corridor there, and all you have to do is watch Solarium. It's just, it's overall a much better site, and we'll see if Aura Esports can get their first round on it. They need this first round. They need their confidence to be going up at this point to spark them on to get this comeback.
Interesting you say that though, Jamie, because I feel the other way around here, actually.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree on the preference of sites here, because I think both times that Aura lost out on that kitchen dining, it was to the same sort of west main take, which is a very unorthodox strategy that can be shut down by watching that angle, watching that access point, and well, both times they fell similar sort of trick. Still though, this run over by Library is going to cause a couple problems for Invictum as they yet to make their entrance in. The Mozzie underneath has that pre-placed nitro cell so that when they go in, when they jump on in blindly, they might just go boom. Lucan aware of the presence downstairs inside of games, but is unable to force Suki out of this situation as he's just continuing to run around free for the time being.
Yeah, that freedom may come to bite them in the asses later on into this round, but we do see the similar sort of tactic coming from Team Invictum again. The push up towards West Main, and it looks like they're going to go for a solar push here, Golu. It seems to me they're always doing this sort of unorthodox attack. Because this site, oh, and it's all paid off there. Suki gets the kill onto Hedgehog. What you were saying earlier, that punishment is already being dished out on towards Hedgehog, onto that Vinker LMG, and all of the utility that comes with that operator. So Invictum are backed into a wall here. They need to get a kill back, or they need to make a play towards the site. Newsy gets the kill we were talking about onto Rosie, and that is the castle down. Make that a double kill from Newsy, getting the refab back onto Suki there. He might always get a third there, just a little bit of over peeking there, but they finally push off here, Golu. What a start to this round.
Now they're trying to peek through these upwards angles. They have the advantage, and they're going to accelerate their lead. Seal able to get the refrag from Ellie, which will help, but as the numbers just continue to fall, Lucan gets a double from the headlight holes that have been set up by the defense. Both of these SES operators just overextending their boundaries and getting heavily caught out by that LMGE, and Invictum continue their reign of terror on Chalet. They are yet to drop around. Pyro, Aura Esports, struggling.
They are famously struggling at this point, but don't count them out yet. If we saw on yesterday's stream, a similar sort of thing happened. A team went 5-1 up and managed to actually lose the round. So they have to make sure they either get a 5-1 or a 6-0 here, Golu, to make sure that this is completely out of sight for Team Aura. But they are going back towards the bar site. I actually like this site. This is the preferred primary site for this map. As I said the previous time they went towards it, it's just how they hold it, or more importantly, Golu, how Team Invictum push this site. We see them do off sort of pushes, opposite to what you would think would push. So this might be getting in the head of Team Aura. They'd be like, oh, they're going to go for this off push. They might push towards Garage, into Snowmobile here, focus towards that side, and then be caught off on the primary push.
5 seconds left before
There's so much to go into this game. This is why I love Siege.
I'm still intrigued by the extension that Suki's going for with the shield once again. I feel like it's just a little bit too far forward, and with only bringing the single shield in your lineup, it leaves that vulnerability right at the top of Ivy Stairs, where if this shield is burned out early on, you're suddenly in a very weak position. The opening kill, once again going in favor of Team Invictum, as Rosie is off the board. Yes, it's only the Jaeger, so no utility out of the pocket, right? Because everything's been deployed, everything's been set up, but you lose a very competent weapon in that 416C, and more importantly, you lose a lot of pressure to assist with this roam, as Lucan takes a bit of damage from Ethan's. The Wamai continuing to play this forward position, just doesn't want to give it up too early, wants to make sure they can hold on for as long as they can. Scott's also taking some damage, but the early grenade's going to be invested. That shield is already gone, and a minute in, there's no more utility left to hold on to these powerful positions on the top of Ivy Stairs, on Mezzanine Balcony, even if the defense are getting the better of these exchanges in damage.
Oh, beautiful down now. I don't think they're actually going to be able to kill Newsy here. They've got to either jump out, which is a very risky play, because you have teammates there, and you do have the Thinker who is on cooldown. So they either have to get this down very quickly, or Ethan does get the kill onto Newsy. So it is a 4 versus 4 situation. Rosie's early mistake has been traded out here. But what I was going to say earlier, Golu, was that shield has so many counters. The reason it's too far forward, it could be grenaded from that double window, as we just saw. So I don't actually like that shield. Oh, a beautiful kill there from Suki onto Hedgehog, who was pushing below. So it is now a 4 versus 3 situation. They're predicting these pushes, they're predicting the flanks, and it is working for Aura Esports in this round. Invictum are going to change up their playstyle here. They are going to go for Snowmobile Garage, so they're going to go direct into sight, not having that crucial top floor presence, so they can definitely be shot off from hatches here, Golu.
It's interesting to see Ellie working away downstairs, trying to get this ply opened up. Lucan also working from this blue staircase. The my close proximity on the steps, waiting for them to push up. But Ellie's going to be the first one to find a pick onto back. And now Seal gets hit in the back as well. They're finally able to drag one back in their favor as Ethans will take the Zofia out of action. Scorps and Ellie, the last two remaining. The health, well, in their advantage. Seal injured, not in a position where he can be picked up by one of his teammates. The player at the top of the bottom of the main stairs, though, Suki, able to find another pick in this round. A big influential player as he's swinging, looking for the last onto Scorps as well. Will he be able to land up the shots? They're just darting around each other's line of sight, darting out of each other's aim. Timer very much in their favor, though. The kill finally claimed onto Seal, which leaves them in the 1 versus 1 as Scorps has made their way behind the bar. That makes it a little bit more difficult for Suki, who has none of these toxic babes. The timer being stuck, it gets planted down, but as he swings around the bar, they're dodging and weaving, dipping and diving. They can't land the shots on each other, using this cover perfectly, swapping to the pistol to try and land the final kill, but no, it is Suki. That's SMG-11 as that backup is superior to the P9 and ultimately enables Aura Esports to find their first round.
What a round it was, Golu. That was so close. Invictum nearly brought back that round. Nearly got the things where he needed. The player was down. It was all up to that main stairs push, that main stairs gunfight. If they would have landed the shots there, that round would have been over and it would have been 5-0 to Team Invictum. But no, Aura Esports manages to claw the round back. And that was a beautiful clutch there, a beautiful play, waiting for the last seconds of the plank going down and then able to use that SMG to his advantage to win that round. Now, Aura Esports are going to the master bedroom and office site, only just winning bar, so bar is locked out for the meantime, so they can't go back to the site that they have won. But last time they were on bedroom, they did in fact lose. It was 2 rounds ago, and it was a round that, yeah, they definitely lost. And they need to do something similar to what they did last round. Be aggressive early, Golu. That is working for them. Trade off the kills. Get the top players out. Get Newsy out. He's 11-2 at the moment. Get Lucan gone. Lucan and Ellie all popping off for their teams. If they can get rid of those players, force Team Invictum to go for the plant instead of for the kills, because that is how they're winning at the moment. They can definitely win this round and take it to 4-2. Not an ideal split, but definitely something they can work with.
Well, it's kind of amusing, as I hear you say that, right? You're not wrong. But effectively, the simplified term of that is just kill 4 players. Which is like, sure, if you kill 4 players, then you're generally in a pretty good chance to win a round. But I don't think that's going to be a reliable strategy for them, to say the least. As we're watching Ethan's now holding towards this west main, that is the kind of adaptation that I want to see. Suki also holding this long angle from the impact hole above. These kind of adaptations, just to be ready for the players, which will inevitably move into their line of sight. They'll be rewarded with 2 freebies there. Ethan's and Suki, the 2 players focused on this zone, are rewarded each with a pick. And, well, that's the kind of start you're looking for, some actionable take to do. And well, now that Ellie's trying to work on this breach from Solarium, the player on that bathroom door, able to just shoot the Excaliburs off the wall, which will cause further delays. Invictum now just choosing to jump on into Trophy to try and get this presence up the staircase, maybe dislodge the player playing close. I believe it's Pakamu on the top of this bathroom doorway.
Yeah, the bathroom doorway, all these angles that they've used to stop this west main push has definitely worked in their favor. I like the adaptability from Aura Esports there. It's thrown Team Invictum off their push. Newsy's been down. It's a 2 versus 5 situation at this point, and that adaptability is playing in their favor. Suki gets another kill. This could be a flawless round, but do they know that Scorps is walking up the back stairs of Solarium? it's all up to this. So he's just playing on these Solarian stairs. He seems lost at this point, and that is actually a flawless round. Ethan gets the kill onto Scorps, and that is what we like to see. Golu 4-2 split, not ideal, but they can work with it. With this momentum going forward, the momentum of saying, oh, we just got flawless round last time, their mental has got to be going down and down every single round that we win. They can definitely pull this back, and now they've got attack. I like attacking. Tacking's an easier thing to do. The strategies aren't as complex as when on defense. The defensive have to react to what your actions do.
Yeah, and I mean, look, you're looking at this half. A 4-2 split on Chalet isn't terrible for your defense, right? It's an attacker-sided map. There's a lot of control and a lot of pressure that can be applied by an attacking lineup that knows what they're doing. And we saw in these opening 4 rounds that Invictum had a clear plan in mind. I still think 2 of those rounds were quite avoidable losses for Aura. Both of their holds on kitchen and dining, they lost to a similar sort of thing, which was that sneaky play up the west main lobby. One time it was 4 players walking up that staircase. However, they adapted. They figured out that this was a center point for the Invictum attack, and we saw Suki able to punish them for over-investing in that one's position. Now that things are changed, we're seeing the side swap come in. It'd be interesting to see how Invictum are going to choose to extend their hold. Scorps inside of Library, potentially going for a little bit of a spawn peek from the double window, but there's very little utility invested into holding that space, which to me screams they're going to be playing a little bit closer to sight. Lucan on another spawn peek, though. Invictum have the lead in this round already. The Amaru off the table from Ethan's, and well, the Amaru, a little bit of a pocket pick, right? But when you've got things like the Lion paired with it, perhaps they were looking to try and get a little bit of a cheeky rush to catch their opponents off guard in the first round of the half.
It's a nice pocket shot that teams can use, especially when your team's not expecting what you're going to do. It's the first round, you bring out these pocket strats, these rush strats, and they sometimes work. But Ethan's getting caught off by that spawn peak. Was just, he threw a spanner in the works there. It now has to say to Team Aura here, we have to be strategic about this push. We have to consolidate our losses, get the next pick. Getting the next pick is the most important thing for this round here, and that is what Suki's trying to achieve there, as he's going to put some, oh, a nice kill from Newsy there onto Rosie, and this is already down. Headshot gets another, it's a 5 versus 2, made that a 5 versus 1 as Newsy gets another kill. It's all up to Pakamu on this peak, on this balcony, and the Thunderbird just says no, a flawless round for Team Invictum to answer back to last round from Aura.
Well, that's one way to start your defensive rounds. It did help that they were able to find that opening pick onto the Amaru, right? Because that shuts down the whole idea of that pocket pick strategy. Because if you lose another member of your lineup, let's say you lose the Flores, yes, that utility is not going to get cleared out as easily, but to be fair, we didn't really see much change anyway. It would have been interesting to see what would happen if that Amaru was available to them, if it had stayed on the table, but they're not going to try and run it back. And that makes a lot of sense, right? Oftentimes, these things are a one and done. I still think there's some flexibility for an Amaru to make use of the hatch inside of dining. I haven't seen that be used too much, but, you know, there was the classic living room and library on Villa where we saw BDS make really good use out of the Gara Hook's ability to open up hatches and climb up them, where they gave the diffuser to the Amaru, jumped them up the hatch into the living room. This is on Villa, not on Chalet, and got that plant down. Maybe something similar could happen in dining. I'm not quite sure. It hasn't quite been tested to its fullest. It's a little bit more vulnerable, I will admit. Either way, Aura have to figure out how they want to break the hold that is going to be set up inside of kitchen and dining, and the first step to doing so is taking that space above and playing the vertical. That's what they've brought the Buck in this lineup to do, to start opening up the floor when they have that control above.
I think Buck is literally the only operator you can pick. You pair him with a Zofia. You have so much potential for opening up these soft walls the soft floors on this side. If you can play vertical, prevent your team, the other team, from playing these angles, you can definitely win. But it's all about how Aura Esports takes this top floor and how quick they can do it, as they need to set up crossfires, they need to set up their vertical angles so they can start to pressure on Team Invictum. Because what I've noticed is if Team Invictum get the first kill, they're very much likely to win the round. They get this first pick, they have an idea, and we see Newsy here who's actually playing towards the blue stairs. He may be able to get a kill on Tsuki here while he's on drone. He just has to be that bit aggressive, as most of the other team here, Pacamo is actually going to come down and try and get the hold on towards the player. He has to be careful there. He does know who he is. Shots are going off. Newsy's been taking a lot of damage there, as well as Pacamo, but he gets Ethan's. Why is he pushing up there? He knows the entirety of Aura Esports are towards that side. You need to take your losses, fall back, and push from a different angle. But he ignores that advice, and he pays the price for it. Newsy is already gone from this round.
See Lucan upstairs playing around the piano, but the drone information might be good on him. Seal with the breach now open up is trying to send these flashbangs in to see if it would be all clear to throw in the frags. That's 2 flashbangs which haven't quite landed on their intended target. The first gas canister coming out to stall the clock. But Lamai getting aggressive now, using these vertical angles to try and deny the plant down below. And these can watch the key spots. We've got to be careful of the Finker who's going to swing. It's actually the Buck to find the kill above. And this will be the cover that they need. Ellie could be exposed here. The shot from Suki finds the kill onto the smoke, and just like that, the kill feed is a blur of orange as Hedgehog has suddenly found themselves all alone. They're upstairs, away from the site, can't win the gunfight. And Rosie, who found the pick onto the Wamai, opened up the round, will finish it off as well.
Is back-to-back-to-back flawless rounds here, Golu. It's an absolute kill fest in this game. Everything's going blue and orange. The kill feeds are lighting up, and it's all come down to quick 30 seconds bursts in each round, Golu. I love this. I'm enjoying this already. But
Sounds
Team
like
Aura... What?
Sounds like the opening to a joke.
Ooh,
No, it's like you know the classic what is it? What's the frog in a blender joke? And they're just giving away the punchline. But it's like
I haven't heard this one, so I wouldn't know.
It's like what's green and red and goes round and round, I think, something like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's a couple jokes like that where it's just like just a color, and it just kind of sounded like that. But yeah, I'll let you get on with what you were saying.
Thank you very much. Thank you for giving it a bit of flavour to this cast. A bit of flavour to this cast.
Yeah, you know it.
I like it. But Team Aura are only 2 rounds away from Team Invictum at this point. If they get this round, the comeback is very much on. And I remember saying, as when Team Invictum went 4-0 up, do not discount Aura Esports. They're adapting to their opponents, and they're starting to win rounds. You look at Suki going 10-5. You look at players such as Ethan, who are stepping up for Team Aura, and players like Newsy, who haven't got a few kills in a couple of rounds, who are definitely changing up the flow of this game, the way that this game is being played. So it would definitely come down towards near 6-6, or either team winning. It's going to be very close. Suki's already in the building here, already towards gaming, so he might be able to get the kill. The pings are coming out, but do they know they're towards the bottom, towards the snowmobile garage? They have to be careful of where the players of Team Invictum are playing. They're adapting as well.
Reloading! Cover me!
Suki already taking control of bars. He's sending in a drone just to try and gather a little bit more information on where these remaining defenders are playing. A minute in and no kill yet found, but this could be the first engagement. Hedgehog getting swung by Suki. The Yana finds the opening. It makes their job a little bit easier. One less threat to hit them in the back, as all 4 defenders are either upstairs above the site or inside of the site itself. Newsy will drop through the hatch just to make sure there's enough assistance for the player downstairs, as now it's a 2-2 split. Got to be careful of Rosie, who will be looking to take advantage of the space above inside of office to rip open this floor once again.
Ellie actually drops down towards the hatch, so giving that position towards Aura Esports if they can get rid of Lucan. Scorps gets a beautiful kill there. Ethan says nice shot in the chat. I'm pretty sad we actually missed that. Newsy's going to come up for the flank and gets caught out by Seal there. A bit unlucky from Newsy, but not expecting where the players of Team Aura are positioned here. You kind of have to expect where they're playing. They have to be in main lobby to get this wall open. Lucian still has top floor. The pings are coming out. He knows the player's playing towards the top of main. He gets traded out there, so a nice kill from Lucan, but Boz has already managed to get towards Elliot. They have site control at this point here, Goon. Lucan takes a lot of damage from a grenade. He's actually being traded out there. Scorps is gone. It's all up to Lucan on this top floor, but he gets a kill onto Pachamau. It's a 2 versus 1 situation, but Seal has gone deep into the site to get this plant down, and all Suki has to do is watch this plant. The plant goes down, and now it almost seems an impossible task with this low of a health pool. 35 seconds left on the diffuser. The shots are coming out. They're predicting where he's going to be playing, and the kill comes out. A beautiful kill from Seal there to finish up that round and give the attacking side of Aura Esports another round under their belts.
Again, another good attack where they just took the control that they needed to without overextending, without overstaying their welcome in any particular zone, and, well, just good use of drone and information gathering tools to pinpoint where these roamers might be playing around downstairs. We saw, Ethan's on that Twitch, making sure they had cameras down in blue. Suki droning out the main stairs as well, enabled them to land that pick onto Hedgehog. They had that retreat covered, but still won the gunfight anyway. Great job from them just to continue making sure they don't get punished, which is such a big deal, right? If that Jaeger Newsy on the back staircase had been able to find 1-2 picks, well, the round could have started to slip away, and now Invictum are starting to feel the heat a little bit. They're going to return to the master bedroom site where they last won in a flawless fashion. The kills, well, they were quite generous to Team Invictum. I believe it was a flawless round. It was one of the 3 back-to-backs that you liked to highlight earlier on.
Back-to-back.
Indeed it was. But this setup is remaining somewhat the same. They haven't got the Malusi, but everything else has remained identical, and that's just because I feel like, well, with the amount of utility that they had available to themselves, they never really ended up using it, so maybe just leaning into a preferred weapon might be slightly better for them. They also have the black eye cameras now to just gather some more information.
This could be a cheeky Nitro here if he manages to get this. He's being very aggressive on this office doorway here. He could get free kill. He knows the players are coming up here. He's going to chuck the Nitro over the top. Will he get a kill? No, he doesn't. The Nitro just misses. He goes back to the free fire, which is a bit risky in my opinion, but nothing comes of it. And that was just, I wouldn't say a wasted Nitro, but an opportunity missed there. It waited a couple more seconds for them to come closer towards it, and that would have been the free kill here. But we know what Aura Esports are going to do here. They're going to push into library, and they're going to get main control of mezzanine. That's all they're going to do. They're going to go for this more default push that we'd like to see, Golu. I think it's actually the first one we've seen, because most of the teams push on that Solarium side, but we actually saw when Team Invictum actually pushed up towards West Main, up Solarium as well. So teams like to do this backside push, so I want to see how Aura Esports play this, and how Team Invictum will adapt to this sort of playstyle.
Still waiting for this pressure on Big Window. Pachamau going to take some damage. Does have the Adrenal Surge to compensate for that loss of HP. Going to boost themselves up to a more comfortable position. Challenging still, fighting for every inch up this corridor. Hedgehog using great use of that corner station just to give himself that extra HP boost that he needs. The Gemini causing a little bit of a stir in his step. But ultimately, Newsy will find the first pick. Pachamau quickly trading it back onto Lucan. 1 Nitro Cell off the board. A minute left for this attack. The main breach still closed off, though, struggling to get past these mute jammers. Well, I need to see how long that holds for. They don't even have a hard breach, never mind.
Oh, what? That was a very... What? They don't even have a hard breach, as we just said. I think Brook maybe had the hard breach gadget if he did have it on. But they're going to have to push the piano double door here, which is a massive inconvenience. Hedgehog gets the first kill onto Suki, traded out immediately through Ethan's as he pushes through that office door. Hedgehog gets the kill onto Ethan's with the bear in 9. Scots gets the kill onto Seal. It's all in a 3 versus 1 situation. It's all falling off And it's all due to the fact that they don't have that hard breach gadget. What were they thinking, Golu? This is almost a lost round here for the side of Aura Esports, and that will actually put Team Invictum on the match point there as the shotgun swing comes around from that office single door. Golu, mindset.
It must have just been a reliance on the buck, right? That can be my only thought, is that they assumed that was the suitable amount of hard breach, which I understand, right? Because realistically, you only need to open up the breach
Wait.
from mezzanine into office.
Book didn't have hard breach gadget. He had flashes. They never ran hard breach. Like,
So confused then. I'm not quite sure what to make of that from Aura, because they've been running this Hibana every other round.
yeah.
So
Maybe they were
it's
going for a
interesting.
bush. They had the ying, didn't they? They had the flashes. They had the smokes. I'm guessing they were going to go through that office single door and just go in for a rush plan. Maybe that's my idea, but they didn't indicate that they were doing that. They weren't leaning towards all fully push on towards that K9 single door to push straight in. That's my only perception behind that, Golu.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's this sort of a misconception when teams start to bring things like the ying, right? Where they throw all of their eggs into that ying basket under the assumption that, well, we'll just get to the site, we'll throw in our candelas and we'll win. You still should play the round out standard. It's only when that candela...
It's the, what is it?
It's very much about making sure you do the standards right. Ying isn't an exception to the rule where you can suddenly throw your standard playbook out the window. It's just an extra piece of kit that you have available to yourself to add on some extra spice, some extra flavor to your sauce, right? It's the garnish. But
you make me hungry.
Oh, I'm hungry all the time, do not fear. But Team Invictum, they set themselves up by bar gaming once again, and this is a very standard hold. We're not seeing them extend as far as we saw Aura Esports do on their defenses. And this does mean that it might be a little bit harder to clear out the utility. Still, well, gonna see how they do so. Keep balcony control in the hands of Suki. He's just peppering some shots through this window to try and cause some concern for the mezzanine player. The big pillar and the deployable shield that Hedgehog has to support himself, well, that will make him feel a little bit safer. Checking the drone at just the wrong time. Scorps' aggression will be rewarded with the pick onto Ethan's, and that's the twitch off the table as well. The F2, a formidable weapon, no longer going to be sending their bullets towards the defense, but that does not matter. Pakamu able to find one back in retaliation.
And that is an important player off the board. Some Team Invictum going 14-7, a 2.0 PV player off the board. Getting a bit too aggressive at that point. If you get the first pick, remember not to be too aggressive. You don't have a strong hold on top floor. You have the mezzanine and you have that Vines shield. That's all you have to watch about. Don't remember that you don't have the Jaeger's dead already, and you have a Wamai, but there's no disc left. So it's a very tough task for Team Invictum to watch this top floor, especially if you look at the attacking lineup. You have the Flores, you have the Finker, you have the Yana. Look at how many grenades they have, how many Gon 6s are in their repertoire. It's just very hard to hold this top floor. So any sort of time, they're doing a very good job at this point though, Golu. 1 minute left into the round, and only a 4 versus 4 at this point. None of the shields destroyed. The library, there's no one in library at this point, so they haven't got the map control they need to win this round yet.
On the first Toxic Babe being used to slow down the presence of the library, but it won't slow down Suki. He gets the kill onto Ellie. No more of those Toxic Babes, going to be a problem for the rest of this round. Now continuing to collapse around lobby, trying to apply some pressure on the defense. They have to try and win this round. There's no margin for error as their opponents Invictum are on match point. Hedgehog helps by closing down Seal, but Rosie hitting them in the side. Scorps bouncing back once again, doing everything he can to make sure that his team reaches the end of the round. And with 10 seconds left on the clock, Rosie finds Scorps. Hedgehog's going to need the 1 versus 2 clutch to seal the deal, but no, the Flores is on fire in this round, finding a triple kill to keep their team in the fight.
And in the fight, more importantly, as they're only 1 round away from scraping a draw out of this match. So it's all coming down to this last round here, Golu. 6-5. Team Invictum are in the driver's seat here. All they need is 1 round to go. Take this to a 3-3 split. That's all they need to do. They did the work on the attacking side. They got the kills. They got the pushes. They got all their calls correct. They just need to make sure they do it on the defensive side. And for that, we see a similar thing to what happened yesterday of them going to Wine Cellar and Snowmobile. They hasn't been played this entire game, and this is a tactic that teams use to go to the 4th site, go to a site which you would not normally see in a game to throw off your opponents. But more importantly, Golu, will it work in this game?
You can see this game come as close as it is. Remember, there is no overtime inside of the minor league, so if Aura can win this round out, we will end in a draw. Invictum will be wanting to take every point that they can away from this, especially as they hit match point with a relatively small cushion, but still something to give themselves that option to win out just that last required round. The operator lineup's changing quite a bit here for the side of the attack, though. The Buck coming in to offer some support, as well as the Ace over, well, for some hard breach at all. The Monty is what's interesting me here. How are they going to choose to take into this basement with the shield wielder? They're just droning out already. Make sure they don't want to get caught out by some hidden roamers playing on cheeky off angles. Gaming and supply is clear, but there are players on the spotted floor.
Ooh, a beautiful kill there from Nuzi onto Suki. Talking about those ratty angles, Golu, Yana not checking her corners there and getting killed by the Jaeger, he's hungry for more. He wants those extra kills, but he has to be careful. Lucian is coming back for backup here, so Team Aura cannot push in this position here. They have to rotate their push. They have to go towards that main garage side here. Monty has bolted in Mudroom now, and he has been spotted out, so he will be under pressure, under some serious pressure here. But Ethan's going to come for the backup, and we got Rosie by Fireplace. Rosie's going to push in here. He's going to look for get kills. Ethan gets a double kill, but make that a triple kill on the round there from Ethan as it all swings back towards Team Aura's favor. They're in a 3 versus 2 situation here. Scorps is going to get rid of the drone and get the kill onto Rosie. A bit of bad timing there, but Ethan's can't get the trade back. So it's the Book and the Monty versus the Bandit and the Smoke for the final minute and a half of this round.
And the final minute and a half of this map. Scorps and Ellie spread out, making sure that they have good coverage of all the potential entrances towards this basement site. Ethan's trying to rip open a couple holes. Seal using that battery that he has available to him to try and open up this hatch. Scorps' aggression not rewarded with a kill, but connector has been opened on up. The flashbangs coming through could be the sign for the drop, as they're just taking drones once again. The Toxic Babes trying to dissuade the attack from... well, the attack. Ethan's still working on this floor, looking to try and dislodge this bandit, but do they know they're hiding on the green bins? The spread from Ellie and Scorps is great. If they can pincer the Monty between them, he'll be a sitting duck. It's going to take some aggression coming out to play, as the Toxic Babe will isolate him from the staircase, no longer having that access to the retreat upstairs. 30 seconds now is all that remains. A Seal using another Toxic Babe, forced into a very uncomfortable position by the lockers. Scorpius finds the first, and they should recognize that being the Monty, they can just push into him, try and take him on at the same time, and they will do just that. Ellie gets the kill in the back on the distracted Monty. Scorps doing his job to perfection there, just making sure that there's no margin for error in this round.
And a beautiful game to end it off there. I thought it was all going to be over, Golu. Those first 4 rounds, Invictum going 4-0 up, the momentum that they had gained and the way that they were going was just, it just seemed impossible for Team Aura to get back, but they won those 2 rounds. They adapted to their opponents, and it was a closer game than we thought. The staff predictions were 50-50, and it was 50-50 which way it could have gone. That could have actually been a draw there towards the end, but just getting unlucky, getting killed on the drone that last minute, and Ethan's not being able to refrag it off. It could have come down to anything, Golu, and I love those games.
Yeah, it's difficult, right? Because again, they were in that 2 versus 2 situation. It's always so tough. And I think you want to try and pick a spot that minimizes the exposed angles. Maybe a blue take could have been ideal, but it's always hard to try and figure out what you want to do, right? The idea of having that buck above just couldn't quite find Scorps in that position. A little bit of a tragedy, but ultimately it's the way that the cards have been dealt. And
Siege for you.
Invictum, they will take those points. They will be happy to receive them, and it will help them at the bottom of the standings to elevate their position just a little bit more.
Yes. And oh, I'm so happy about that game. It was such a good game. And Team Invictum are getting that one step closer to getting towards those playoff positions, more importantly, trying to push towards that major division. But more importantly, we've got our major game going on next. And that is between Praetorian and Vega Esports. So make sure to come back after we have a quick break.
Says, and as I say that, Etoile, we go down, Steely gonna come to rescue momentarily, gonna drop into the hands of the Goyo as well. Spooky and Sinji really throwing this back towards Vega's side because they're 4-2 split from what really looked like should have been a major round. Steely now and Gamma with it all to do.
Joe, I see this C4, buddy.
There's an early gunfight that you don't need to give him. It can really spiral the round out for you, but it is good to see that all Vega players are sitting here waiting. Well, Goyo's gonna take a swing. Goyo's gonna win the swing as well. Spooky just locking it out there from bomb laundry. That
easy access into study. But
I mean,
what's interesting is that other shield though, Go. Oh, double kill coming out there.
Black Eyes to deal with, but the information game coming from them isn't going to be quite as potent as a wonderful shot from Ethan's the Jaeger, able to find Hugeman taking out the Habana. Still the Maverick on board, but for the most part your hard breach is gone. Still half the round to play, but Ethan's makes it a double kill, finds Antifa.
Previous 2 rounds we smoked. Lucky to be alive, tries to create a melee hole and unsuccessfully so, won't find all that much. Cloud looking to send us to a 5-5 position, but Stuzo has taken up that same position. Humble Academy going down to the bottom floor, you really couldn't recognize it based off of their defense. Both players on the top floor now fall, Arbo with a double already.
For a lot of role play, and you know, I'm guessing that Humble Academy wanted to try that with both Struso and Riku, but when you do such a high roam presence as it was poorly executed. It was a really sorry roam from them as the plant does go down. Lasmo is there to get the plant down, but the Overwatch is going to be
walking down the corridor instead, choosing not to go towards Zombie Doll, looking for the pick onto 90. We'll see that Oryx will actually get a little bit of damage onto Icox. Hedgehog finds the pick onto Brumby. Lucan falls as well. Quick 1-for-1 exchange between these two teams as Finka holding on tight from this out. Not going to land with its target. Zerakai now the one on the doorway will find the first kill. F2 Merchant indeed his last killer finds 2 with the Nitro cell on side of landing. That's the diffuser down as well. Twitch and Ace, the last 2 remain on hiding behind this bar. There are 2 of them in that position. Not standing up, they're not giving him the opportunity. Last killer finds Scorps and is flanking now through Study. This is a difficult situation for Twitch to play out. Finds the first onto Icox, needs 2 more. Make the move onto them with 30 seconds left of the round. Just don't swing this, please. And last killer behind uses that
side to push in. The Habana already opening things above, and the opener goes the way of Joey. 2 as well, looking for more than just that, but it is a 3 versus 3 because of that early pick with that team kill at 3K. Now for Dallas, looking for even more. Up onto a quad for Joey as well. Bummy, 1 versus 2. There's the first, no second for you. It's Joey with the ace. Vivid take.
Hello guys, welcome back to Talent League Week 5. It is the major game and we have Praetorian versus Vega. I am Pyro and I am joined by my good friend Rick and Morty. Welcome to the stream.
I'm very glad to be here, of course. I am, well, filling in some very big shoes for Gulu, who just recently left the minor broadcast, I believe, but I'm very glad to be here for 2 maps. And, well, would you like to recap what happened in the previous match for us, Pyro?
So if anyone actually forgot about last game, which I'm pretty sure no one did because it was an absolute stunner of a game, make sure to go back and watch that game after this stream has finished. But here's a little recap. It was 7-5, and that was between Team Invictum and Team Aura, so the two bottom of the minor tables. But Team Invictum came out victorious. They started to a 4-0 lead, and Aura clawed back right towards the end, where Invictum actually took the lead in that last round, round 12 of the game. So an absolute cracker that make sure to go back and watch. But Rick and Morty, will you take us away with the staff vote for today?
Well, so far, about 87% of our staff has voted for Praetorian, and about 13% voted for Vega, which kind of really tells who's the favorite here and who's likely going to win. And if you even take a look at the scoreboard right now for Major League, you could see that Praetorian are right at the top, first place, and Vega are down at the bottom, like at the dead bottom, 10th place, I believe. So, it really is not looking too good for Vega in terms of like rankings, but they could always surprise us. There's always the possibility of an upset, as they say. But in Siege, any match could be an upset. It's a very, let's just say, vibrant game, and it's not always as straightforward. So that's about it. I would also like to talk about map bans for now, just so we know what we're dealing with for this series. So we have 2 maps. First of all, there will be Cafe and Oregon after that. At least it's not Oregon first. I would like to cast Oregon last. But
It's
Cafe
Oregon.
should be absolutely interesting. And, well, I believe the players are almost ready. Pyro, do you have anything extra to add?
No, I just want to go straight into these predictions for these operator bans going into today. Now, for Cafe, it's always a mixed bag with Cafe. Your Thatchers are not as important. There's a lot of verticality that can be played on this map. So Thatcher's not as important. It's important for the top of the Red Stairs breach, or maybe towards the what am I calling it, bakery. So those are really the only 2 walls you're looking for. But that bakery wall can also be shot from below. But Thatcher is banned and off the board here. So the SAS version 1 has gone. Last game we actually saw both Sledge and Thatcher go, so maybe we can see that again for this map for Vega and Praetorian. But yeah, we do. We see Sledge off the board, so the SAS lads are gone. I think people just hate the British at this point in time, Rick and Morty. Who knows?
I mean, it's really the developer's fault for making all the British operators extremely meta and powerful. There goes Wamaya as well. I mean, you definitely not see him ban all the time, if anything. But then again, he also has 5 of those magnets, which are currently very important for projectile denial. It's actually 6, not even 5, which is very strong. And then, of course, Mirror Ghost, that is fairly standard. So Thatcher and Mirror bans on Praetorian side, pretty basic. But then Vega Esports banning those 2 operators are very important, means that they will likely play in place of the Sledge. There it is. Of course, Buck has not been as prominent as he used to be, but when it comes down to situations like these, you got to bring him or nothing can be done. Anyway, they're also bringing a Finca, Ace, Flores. Let's just say Finca, no need to be said. When the seasonal patch note just came out, it just showed you that Finca is currently the most overpowered operator in the game. Her win and pick delta is like straight to the top. It's like insane. So
The percentage is 80% from the last sort of stats I saw, and the win percentage is very much up there. So it all comes to show that you still need to ban the LMGs. They're just too OP at this point. We saw it actually in Finca being abused, and LMGs in total being abused throughout the entirety of the R6 majors that we just saw in Charlotte. So I think actually Yubi did say that they were gonna ban. Well, they were going to nerf LMGs next season, so maybe we'll see something in the next season of Talent League, or even in the Titan series, that will be a move away from the LMG meta. But something interesting has actually caught my eye, Rick and Morty. If you look towards the left of your screen, you will see that a capital has been brought out. What sort of uses can we see for this operator on this map, and more importantly, this site here, Rick and Morty?
Well, I'd actually say that Capital always has a very high skill ceiling, and you could always pick him just so that you can bring all those, well, let's just say, fire bolts and smoke bolts with him, so that you can always facilitate a safe plant, and which, in this case, looks like what Vega want to do. But the issue is that they took it off the ace, so there is no more hard breach except for the buck, but you normally would take the buck with flash grenades, because burning utility is very crucial. But then again, right now, they don't seem to be showing any kind of that kind of attack yet. Here comes the first engagement coming out of the Jaeger and the Yana. Alpha will lose his life. Few coats. That is quite an early gunfight that should not have been taken by the Yana and lose. You do have the better gun, and the Jaeger gets away with it. 4v5 very early on against Vega Esports. It's not looking good. And the Buck, so far, he's the only one of a heart breach, but no one's going for a red push. The Finka just drops, no support, no one has shown that corner out apparently because the Finka actually just dies to it. So it's 3v5 very early on. I don't think this looks like a piano attack by any means, and it doesn't look like Vega has a coherent plan right now. If you just go on from the windows, then you are most likely dead. So if they don't follow the basic strat book here, it might cause them problems.
Playing off the windows is a very risky strat, especially when you got players like Forever here, who's watching the hatches in the small office. We saw a similar play being on the top fly plays, I think it was a week 4, when a player like that dropped through the hatch. Talking about that, Coles gets a second kill, and that's on to Vix there. And it's already a 5 versus 2 in favour of Team PRETORIAN here. So definitely showing their absolute dominance and why they are top of the league. Kona's getting a bit aggressive there, looking for a free kill on the Capital, who's actually rotated towards white. And that is a flawless round for PRETORIAN. A beautiful start to this game, and a beautiful start to this first map here. A flawless round, just showing their absolute dominance here, Rick. Oh no. I'm not feeling the vibes right now for Vega Esports. They need to pull themselves together. They pushed from different angles. I think it was a bit messy, their push there, Rick. They pushed from the white side first and then rotated towards the hatches, which obviously they didn't check their corners in such like cigar shop, and they just got executed on perfectly there by Team PRETORIAN.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just that normally you would say that a team would outstrat the other team, but in this case, there was not even a real strategy. Of course, like I touched upon earlier, if you want to attack this top 4 side, you would have to open the hatches, and then you go down into red stairs, open that wall, and then you try to take out Pixel. Piano control is everything on this side. Like, you actually cannot win this side if you don't take piano control, I believe. So not even that. They did not even hold control of red, which is a big red flag. Now they're going to be going down to kitchen. And with that lineup of Buck and Jackal, I do believe they're going to go for a top down, which is, of course, should be done pretty quickly if they have a Jackal on board. He is pretty much uncountered in terms of utility.
They need to be careful. We saw the Yana on the previous round, who went for the roam clear and got immediately picked off by Coles. So they need to be careful of what ops they're bringing. Obviously, the Buck is a strong operator. You've got Flores, who can also open up, and the shotgun of Jackal. You can't lose the early pick. If they get picked off from the Jackal or the Buck, they can't do a top floor roam as easily. If the Buck goes, your utility for soft destruction is already gone, and you have to rely on that shotgun, which is very unreliable, especially when you have Valkyrie, K's with the C4s, with the nitros. You could easily get rid of your entire body at that point. So PRETORIAN can play this specifically to counter what Vega Esports are pulling out, so a top floor down roam. But one question I'd like to ask you, Rick, for this site, for kitchen and service and cooking, do you push from bakery side or from freezer side?
Bakery I would normally do. for where you have the wall that's directly into sight. But then, of course, there's the issue of most defenders usually playing on way in the back of the kitchen, and from there they can usually actually hold the site quite well. And then, of course, they also have the Cade on board, so that might be a bit of an issue if they don't find where that call is. Usually, you bring an IQ to find the Cade, which means they have to go up top. But if they have Flores here and they have the Buck, then they should be able to clear that Cade call, and then they can go in from Bakery. So this doesn't look like a freezer attack lineup, especially if you are bringing an ace. Ace is not a hatch operator, so like I think they would definitely be bringing the heartbeat charges on Buck, with which they can open hatch. But again, this looks like a Bakery attack lineup. Also, one thing I want to touch upon from that previous round is that they were playing the Iana, who was solo roam clearing. So they truly believe that they will be able to get away with it by just having one operator taking 1v1s against the roamers. Yeah, so they do gotta play with each other a bit, like a lot more. If you even like look at everything else happened in that previous round, so it's not just about where you attack, who you take with, or who you roam clear. It's all about teamwork, obviously.
I think that is the name of Siege, though. Siege is a very teamwork and communication-based game, so you can't really win rounds without that communication, without that teamwork, which is why 5-stacking in ranked is way too OP. And I've seen a lot of actual content creators, people on Twitter, complaining about the advantages of having that 5-stack. But on to comp, and I think to answer my own question with what you touched on, Rick, I actually prefer the opposite. So we can agree to disagree there, that I actually prefer a freezer take. I believe it's more versatile if you push. You've got two ways of pushing towards the freezer side. You've got from white and then to push into VIP. You've got the back of the bar seating area on that double window, as well as coat check and reception that you can push into. And obviously you can also rotate your push going through the bar, down that red corridor, into small bakery, and then push into bakery. So you have that full control, as well as all the vertical angles, which, based on your push that you like, Rick, which is that main bakery push onto that bakery double wall, you can obviously have Book being getting rid of those longer angles. So both of these pushes that you can do as an attacker onto bakery are both very strong attacks, and attacks that I like. But our final player has returned. Forever has been back into the lobby, and we can continue with the game and put our theories to the test. More importantly, Rick, we can say, are we going to go for that freezer push, or are we going to go for that more default bakery push that you mentioned? And how will PRETORIAN actually set up? There's a lot of different strats that you can use for this site. You can open the right side, which you see Smoke doing now, head high, hold swatch towards coat check. And I see a lot of teams actually hold towards the middle floor. I think this site needs a very roam-heavy game. It's a very roam-heavy site here, Vic. So that's what I'd like to see from both of these teams.
You could definitely hold it with roams, but also you could extend around the map in ways that would allow you to hold it. So it does look like right now PRETORIAN are going for holds that basically allow them to keep control over the entire map. There would be a shield placed inside of Christmas right now, facing white door. ADS is behind it, which now they can now use to hold freezer. And then, of course, if you extend all the way back over to the side of bakery, you have that wall over to red open, so you can sit inside of coat check, like you said, and hold basically the entirety of bakery side if you want to. It's actually a very powerful angle if you're not contested, though. So right now, though, we're a bit curious to see what Vega are going to be doing. They are going all the way to the rooftop. Like I said, because of the Jackal, it's 100% chance of a top-down clear. But then, of course, afterwards, they would have to deal with all of that utility that PRETORIAN is faced towards them. So it might be a bit of a problem of time management here, and we hope the Vega doesn't fall into that issue. Now, here comes the first roam clear attempt. Holds has spotted 2 drones, and he's taken them both out, which is quite big for PRETORIAN and quite costly for Vega. So Vega would have to find him just about now, but the footprints from the Jackal should facilitate that roam clear.
They do actually see him. They did a Yang ping as they were dropping to hatch, so they do know that someone's towards this top side. But I think, yeah, he's already rotated all the way down towards and put in those ADSs that he forgot on towards that Christmas, that VIP side. So he's going to be a very big nuisance here. It's going to take a lot of time out of Vega Esports here. They are going to open the hatch, and Book does see that one person was towards the down in towards that train area. He's doing some... I actually like these long angles here, Rick. They're going to give him some very good sightlines that will be hard for team members of PRETORIAN to even adapt to. The Book will be coming out now trying to get the vertical plays, as we did mention before in the pre-game. And they will start to cement their attacking position. Start to push the way that they are going to push it. Nitro goes off, but lands nothing there.
I touched upon it before, right? The time management could be an issue because it's already 2 minutes. And at the moment, they are opening the hatch and they are barely scraping the side of the staircase. They have not cleared up utility in Christmas or the side of code check yet, which of course, like I said before, is basically the crux of this defense. And right now, sure, they have all the angles, but the defenders are not playing on the side, which is the issue. You don't get anything out of verticality right now if you don't clear out these extensions from the defenders. So the roam clear was not exactly a success. You lost your drones, you didn't find anyone, and now your verticality is not coming to fruition either because you're not getting anything out of it. 30 seconds left. Vega will have to move very quickly. They're trying to take a gunfight, and Biggs will be the first one to get a kill. And then the grenade from OC goes out and gets one more. But here comes a refract coming out of Bambi. Or Bambi, I'm not sure. Anyway, the smoke gets one kill with SMG-11, making it a 3v4, but time is now very dire for Vega. If they don't take out these defenders holding them now, then it could be all over. And here comes the fight from Bobby. He's pushing up, but the air jab will push him back down. It's a 3v3. The attackers are not getting anything done. The diffuser is not going down, and everything is denied. They had a man advantage, but like I said before, because the utility is not there, and they cannot clear them, it doesn't even matter. Because PRETORIAN basically got the round as soon as the 15 seconds left, and there's 3v4. It just doesn't change anything.
Round was definitely based on they didn't have... PRETORIAN weren't going for a roam heavy game. They were going for an extension on site, as you mentioned, and Vega Esports was spending way too long clearing that top floor. It was the Jaeger who actually pushed up towards the top floor, the Coles on the Jaeger, who then rotated all the way back around towards White. It was a minute 30 before they even touched the second floor, and after that they've still got to clear that out. There's 1 minute left into the round. They start to push the angles, push down brown stairs, push through the double in VIP seating area, and they just have not got enough time to execute onto the site. And at that point, there's 5 seconds left, and Nakade gets the kill onto the diffuser player, and that is an easy round there for PRETORIAN. Playing the time perfectly, Vega Esports needs to speed up here and see how they'll do for this round. But this map, if they would have done the roam clear that they did last round, Vic, I think it would have been fine. Because they spend a minute and a half, and then they can start to do vertical. They need to do a similar push to what they did last time. Top-down roam. The issue here is you don't have the Jackal, so you've got to rely on your drones a lot more as a team.
You definitely would, and the thing is that since this is a second for defense, they definitely can just roam clear a lot faster, but then again, the thing is that PRETORIAN are now playing on a top 4 with their defenses, with their extensions. So that means that Vega, they don't even have to roam clear, they would have to like utility clear in this case. And they have to push in, but can it be done is the question, because they have 3 flashes, and that is the issue. You would bring more flashes to clear those Jaeger ADSs, but right now they have the bug on the heartbeat charge, which is not necessary for this site at all because you have the ace. So that is kind of wasted, don't you think? And then, of course, you have all those grenades, but the grenades are to be exploded, not to be burnt for the ADSs. So here comes the piano push. They are making much better use of their time this time around. Here comes the pre-fire, and the Jaeger will actually, Codes on the Goya will peek into it, and he takes a lot of damage, but he gets away with his life. But then, of course, at least that is now piano control firmly in the hands of Vega.
It's very quick piano control. 1 minute left, 1 minute gone into the round. They already have that piano, but that is not the goal here. You can get piano very quickly. You still have to clear top white by boxes. You still have to clear towards cocktail and stop these vertical angles. So Vega still have a lot of work to be done. There's still three people on the top of the roof. The Goyo shields have been popped in both of the positions. The Goyo Vulcans, I should say. So a lot of that's 20 seconds each that are wasted there. So that's a further 20 seconds where Vega cannot get in towards cocktail and start using Book Remember, last round they had a minute before they even got vertical control. So that's going to be a similar situation here. They need to work on their time management. They need to do stuff quickly. They've still got Bombi here on the position. Gets a kill
Oh
onto
my god.
Shinji, and flicks out, but actually gets killed by Blix there. A bit of a too wide screen, a bit too aggressive, but at least he trades off his kill there.
Well, in this case, I would say that losing your heart breacher is not that dire because you do have site which is not very dependent on heart breaching, but at the same time, your verticality should come out about now. There's 40 seconds left, so about a bit, not enough time, I would say, for Vega to get everything they need to do immediately, but they need to at least move their feet quickly. Now, the C4 will come out, it will damage Spooky, but nothing else, so that is just a bit of HP chucked off of him. And now they're looking to get a plant down into reading. The issue is that, of course, there is still a lot of utility on the side of Praetorian to deny it. The Malusi with the impact grenades, the C4 on the Capcan, and now here comes the push. The Mute is the only thing standing between them and this plant. Aval gets 1 kill, the Mute gets 1 kill, the Capcan gets 1, and now it's a 2v2. The plant is going down from the Flores, but Oxy is in the site, and he cannot plant. And the plant was denied in the last second, meaning it's another defense win. And see that impact grenade destroying that cabinet, allowing him to deny the plant. That was all the utility. That was all the utility that Praetorian still had in their pocket, and was able to be used to get them another round win. Vega Esports, they had a way better idea this time around, and they were bold with their attack. They went in for it, but they could not clear those players from Praetorian quickly enough. So that was ultimately their downfall. But then
The
again,
tactics were solid. The tactics were solid, as you said. But yet again, it comes down to that time management that you've said for the past 3 rounds, Rick. It's all about time, how quick you can clear. They got into piano quickly, but they didn't capitalize on their ability to take control. They needed to watch right, cut off the rotates from that Praetorian can do, force them to drop hatch and get in towards site. But what I'm worried about now is they've got Praetorian a 3-0 up. They've got a fresh rotation of sites to go on to. They've got that bar site, the primary site on this map to go to. And it seems a bit dire at the moment for Vega Esports. They need to get around, they need to get on the ball, get the momentum going, shift the momentum the way that this game is going, and you can start to claw this back and start to win. That is what they have to do here, Vic. That is my advice to Vega Esports.
I definitely do like this attacker lineup more than the first time around, though, because now they do have the Habana, which is very important for opening up red and getting into piano. So that is one right move. They do have a lot more utility burners. So the Sophia, the flash grenades on the Flores, I was going to say Habana, but he's running Breach Charge, which is like very curious. But then maybe it's because of the hatches that they need to get opened. But then again, you can also open it with the 2 Habana pellets. Yeah, let's look a bit more solid. And now they're going for a full red attack, I believe, which again, like I said, is way better. Not too much happening yet, though. But then again, it's only been 1 minute. Firstly, the drones will be tossed down, very crucial. The same position is being played by the members of Praetorian, though. Surely Vega knows how to counter it this time around. And again, he thought he had the flash grenades, but it was not the case. Now, that's the first kill coming out of the Goyo onto Bix. That is the Sophia. That is so much utility gone, and the LMG as well. That is not what you want to happen so early on as well. So now, again, Praetorian, they can now sit safely in those little corners without getting stunned. I believe that one player just dropped from side of Vega onto red, but they cannot get anything done specifically yet. Taking that first gunfight, shooting blindly into the cabinet, but getting nothing out of it. And 1 minute 30 remaining.
They need to be careful of where that cabinet drop goes. A beautiful kill there from Oxy D onto Forever, so it's evened up the man count. But as I was saying, they need to be careful of where that drop goes, because that leads directly below red. So if you push your manpower towards red, you have to be careful of the flank, and that is literally what could happen in this round. But the player of Forever who was there has actually been taken off here. So they do have top red control, they do have cigar shot control, and they can start to pressure onto Praetorian's ability here. Start to test the positioning, the mental ability, and the patience that Praetorian have as a team. Colas takes a lot of damage from that grenade, and that shield is already gone, so they've cleared the position there, and now Bombi has to be careful with his positioning. He has to be careful of that pushing, from Cigar Lounge. He can't be caught off guard in this position here.
Absolutely not. But then he would have that crossfire with the Jaeger. So if someone pushes out the bathroom hallway, they would know. CD gets 1 kill. 2 kills now for the side of Vega as they get a double onto the smoke and the Goyo. Down goes Colts. That is the Jaeger gone. It is a 1v4 for PRETORIAN. Dano is the last one alive. What a turnaround there from Vega Esports, making it a 3v1 now as Dano gets 1 kill with MP5. He has to find 3 more. The plant is not going down. They don't know where exactly he is. It's a 2v1, but now that's a shutdown there from Avok. Comes in to save the day. And actually, no, that was Vega. And that is the first round on the board for Vega Esports. And like I said before, they switched up the attacker lineup. They had a way more solid utility this time, and it paid off. They got their very first round. Bravo.
I think that time management was a lot better. The way they got into sight, I think the only thing was they left that plant a bit too late there. 10 seconds left. If the Malusi actually focused on the player pushing into the Cigar first, he carefully could have won that. It was a beautiful 2 kills there. So a very good round from Vega, the way they played it, but a bit unfortunate from PRETORIAN not to glitch it out there. But they go back to the exact same site of Bar, hoping that they can win it this time. They just swung out unnecessarily and got killed quite easily. So if you're PRETORIAN, you need to watch your angles and not be too aggressive when you play. But in terms of setup-wise, it's a default setup for what we see. Head height holes being watched there, so you can watch the skylight. Rotations on the right side of Cocktail as normal. Open up the balconies so you can run across quite easily on towards that the balcony, and making sure you can watch towards New Hatch. A pretty default setup. We do see a Jaeger, so we can be watching onto the pixel angle here, but instead they're using that angle in towards the bathroom, which we did see play out last round here, Rick. So very similar round to maybe the last sort of rounds, but hopefully PRETORIAN don't lose as many players as early on. Don't give up control as quickly as they did last round. That is what they need to do for this round in particular.
Well, I definitely agree. So far, the defender lineup looks to be exactly the same. Whoever they'll play in the gate, that should allow them to hold the side of Freezer more strongly, denying that Habana ability to hard breach in. Now, the IQ, though, is quite an interesting pick, but obviously, because of a new attacker repick feature, she will now be played more prominently, since they now need to find where these pieces of utility are. That Cake Claw is very crucial, but then again, if you want to find it, you would have to go downstairs anyway, so that would mean a roam clear from Vega if they want to use that operator effectively. Now, first, there should be that Cake Claw removed, allowing them to breach into Piano, but the issue is, then again, you already have Piano control, so is that the top priority anymore? I focus holding an angle to Piano. He's waiting for someone to push out, but no one will come to him. They are playing a bit more cautiously, but the players from White are trying to tease them. They're trying to get a pick out of baiting these players into moving into the crossfire. Now, 1 minute 30 remaining, and so far Vega, they have made some progress, some utility cleared, but not as prominent as we saw them did in the last round. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we're peeking OxyD doing a very dangerous and aggressive peek here, trying to get a grenade kill on any players playing towards that freezer. He does know that Ratho there is playing towards that area, and he does like to play in deep freezer, so he is taking a lot of damage. Maybe a spawn peek coming out. I did hear barricades being taken out, but that is the shield already gone, and he has to be careful here forever of where he's peeking. The first kill, Bombi gets a kill forever and picks him with refrag. So it's a 5 versus 3 situation. I did refrag on the second trade-off there. OxyD has actually dropped onto the balcony here, trying to reach the head of that player playing in towards that cocktail balcony area. 30 seconds left in the round, and PRETORIAN seem to be in a very convincing and dominant position in towards this round. Goyo Vulcan shields have been popped off here, so 20 seconds of burn time are coming out. So if you're Avok, you have to rotate through the bathroom here. You can, or simply run around, but there is a
agree. Now there's 15 seconds left. It's 3 players of PRETORIAN of Vega against the world. OxyD gets 1 kill. It's 2 kills for him, and now there's a refragging out to the Goyo. There's no time left for the plant. It has to be Habana now, so it's basically a 1v3 for Avok.
Avoc does not even survive, and now they get denied as well. It's Praetorian with the 4th round, a very convincing defense adaptation from that previous round coming out of the side of Vega. And that is basically how you would expect Cafe to go normally. It's a very defender-sided map, and of course, Praetorian get the very first lead for it, and should be a good app for them. Now, going down to Kitchen, that would be quite different, because of course, Vega has only attacked this site once, and they failed, even though they got the manpower. So let's just say that they did get the kills, which means they aren't slouches. They definitely can frag out, but they would also need to focus on the other half of this entire game, which is of course utility. So again, time management, because this site is all the way down to the bottom floor. That means time management is very, very crucial, and they have to get it done. The lineup for the defense, though, not much, not anything new, I would say.
More about the road game, this bottom floor. The amount of the positional play that you can use. I mean, the last round that Praetorian went to it was actually the second round in this map, and they were pretty convincing. They used the bait of the Jaeger to force a very top floor, heavy clear from the side of Vega Esports. So if they can do that again, and then to have that much utility from below with the smoke shield in towards the VIP area, and all the players playing towards behind that bar. We saw that nasty angle from behind bar, watching on towards the brown stairs. If that can happen again, then this will definitely be a Praetorian round. It all depends on how quickly Vega Esports can get top floor, middle floor control. If they can do that, then they can force positional play and players of Praetorian to peak unnecessary angles.
Oh, one thing's for sure, Vega are eager to try out new lineups. They are going for, instead of the Jackal, the Osa this time around. That shield would be very, very powerful at holding down positions inside of Bakery, for example, and which they now have control. Oh, they found Forever deep inside of Bakery, and he got shot up down to 1 HP. He's basically a dead man if he takes under a gunfight. So, probably not the best idea for him, but he gets out and takes one drone with him. So not too bad, not too shabby. And now the shield is being put down from Bakery, but oh, that's bad timing from the smoke! He gets immediately destroyed by Bix! They already had a shield facing it, and he tried to play it back against him, and that was just disastrous from the smoke. So now 5v4 very early on for the side of Vega. Oh, the Colt here, he's trying to push back in, he's trying to play bold. He sees one player, he gets one kill, he's trying to go for the second, but he's gonna get crossfire any second here, but no! He actually survives and gets away! With barely an HP scrape on him. He's now a 4v3 for his team, and so very crucial there from the Jaeger. How did Vega not get that refrag is the question. They had all the crossfires into Bakery, and yet somehow they let the Jaeger get away. That is really unacceptable.
Be a Nitro throw there from Forever. He couldn't manage to get Sinji here. Yes, he's got the Nitro out. He's waiting for a call for them to be pushing up relatively close because he actually knows he's coming out here. Flashes are coming out to try and blind him. Nitro comes out and will that get the kill? No. Only does a bit of damage towards Spooky. The shield has been destroyed though. So Vega Esports have to push it out here. They're in a 4 versus 3 situation with only Bakery control. They are going to manage to get the wall open bit, but I think Forever might have actually catered to that. No, the wall is being open. They're pushing into prep already. Forever gets a kill. It's all traded off. Quad kill for Coles actually, and Danzo gets the last kill. Praetorian a nice round and go 5-1 up in the first half of this first map.
You would definitely have expected a 4-2 at least for Vega to make it competitive, because it is still a defender-sided map, but 5-1 is quite showing. So now, all the momentum at their side, Praetorian should get also quite a, let's just say, favorable attack. First of all, Vega will be going to Kitchen instead of the top 4 as Praetorian did, so that would be quite interesting. And now, they are bringing out the Tachanka. Yeah. I mean, about 3 months ago, you would have kind of, it would still be a meme pick because he was not very powerful back then, but now he's starting to gain some more momentum.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Very powerful.
Yeah,
whoa,
he was.
You want to retract that statement?
Okay, maybe not 3 months ago, 6 months ago. 6 months ago, he was not buffed and he was still quite weak.
The beautiful gun. The gun was amazing.
I'm sorry, but the LMG on Tachanka is the worst gun in the game. Not even close. I mean, you can't even. I mean, the old one, no. The current one, yes. The current LMG.
Oh, I know that one. I mean the old one. The old one appears.
Oh. Well,
Imagine
I
it
mean,
had wheels. The Tachanka rework should have been wheels on the LMG.
oh yeah, I'm sure that would have been very balanced, definitely. But then again, you know, it is kind of a competitive esports. You should not be doing those kinds of things. Although I would definitely be more approving of it if it was a meme game. Anyway, the
Chat,
attack.
let me know.
Yeah, you should let him know if you're a supporter of Tachanka on wheels. Anyway, the attack from PRETORIAN, they are going to be taking the side of Bakery and very little top 4 presence compared to that very first attack coming out of Vega. Code's taking a lot of damage initially though, so not the best sign for PRETORIAN. That drone getting shot as well. And well, so far there's no one playing inside of Bakery though, which actually I think there is. I think it's...
Yeah, he's behind the desk of Bakery, and they
Yeah,
do
and
know one
that's scope
person
blocked him.
towards code check as well. Yeah, so it could be a very bad thing here if he does get killed from the right side. If you open that right side wall, you can actually see the players behind that Bakery desk here. So it's all up to Sinji here with that DP27, that LMG, which you said was very bad, to hold down the fort in towards Bakery here. Flashes are coming out. He actually vaults over there. He will get flashed, and he will be falling off that position. The grenades come out from here. Avok gets killed from behind from that window, not being careful there. And the grenades are going to come out from the open hole from the rotate, trying to get rid of that shield. Sinji is still playing very close there, but gets killed from Coles, who doesn't realize he's very close in. That's an immediate trade-off by Spooky, though. But the players from Vega Esports are in very revealing positions here. They don't have to get the wall open for PRETORIAN.
Well, 4v3 is very good now for PRETORIAN. They're looking poised to take the 6-1 lead. That grenade goes in. It's so much utility thrown at the players of Vega right now. And then bullets as well. It's a 1v4 for Oxidi, who has the Roni. The gun with 17 bullets against 4 players and with LMGs. It's not even close. Rafal just goes in and kills him immediately. And this hold from the side of Vega does not bear any fruit at all. It's already 6-1. It's already been about, what, half an hour? That is quite a quick map going right now.
It's a very quick map because it's been very quick rounds. I think the only really sort of long rounds were when obviously Vega were on the attacking side. And we are going to get a tactical pause here, a tactical timeout from the side of Vega, a very warranted tactical timeout here, Vic, as they are 6-1 down. But if you look at what site Vega Esports are going to, you have to start to question here. They're going towards... Not top floor, Rick, but Reading and Fireplace. Can you give your thoughts behind that site choice there?
I think that every single site on Cafe is extremely solid, and it doesn't matter. They're not really off sites anymore in my book. There was a point in time where they were, because of course top 4 and bottom 4 were favorites, but now I think actually a lot of teams don't even go top 4 because it is pretty hard to actually defend in Pro League. So Reading Room is actually a very solid site, so I don't have anything against that. The issue is that, again, it's not about right now it's not about the strategy from Vega. It's more about how they are playing. That last round, for example, you saw the Vigil die going into a flank that most teams, if any competent team, would be watching. So you would know not to push into small bait that way, you know? But they did anyway, and he just got shut down quite easily. The Tachanka holding that cross into Bakery from inside of sight, I mean, yeah, he would do that if he had an actual good gun, but you have the DP27 playing against the ARX. That was like an easy frag there for Codes. So, and then of course everything else happens. They had all the utility thrown, that smoke playing behind the bomb. He was vanquished by the grenades and the bullets. And then of course in the end, there's nothing that anyone from Vega could do about it. So it's more utility play, more knowing when to be aggressive. It's all of that would help Vega win a few more rounds. But right now, 6-1, it's very dire. Usually when it's a 6-1, you know, oh, it's over. Basically, the team that 6 runs up.
I mean, yeah, but that can happen, and we've seen it happen before. So don't count your cards out yet, Vega. Definitely prove Rick here wrong. It'll be very fun to do so, and you could definitely roast him on Twitter after, as we all enjoy that as casters, getting roasted after we make a poor prediction. But more importantly, Vic, let's go on to this match point here for Team PRETORIAN. 6-1 up, and they are doing a default sort of push here forever on the book. opening up those top red walls here, trying to put pressure on towards the 3 players of Vega Esports who are contesting that top floor. I should make that 2 players, actually, my mistake there. So I prefer a 3-2 split though. You do 3 players on top, 2 players, and then you have 1 person drop back. I'm not sure if you're the same idea here, Rick.
I wouldn't say it's 100% either way. This defense from the side of Vega, though, they only have the 1 player Oxy holding it, but they aren't even checking downstairs. Bombi has in, and he's gotten 2 kills. Vega are dead. There's 2 of them gone, and now it's a 3v5. And the thing is that I was gonna be talking about how this defense on the top 4 is a bit thin, but even then, the second 4 defense is not even solid at all. They just go in and get 2 kills, and now Praetorian have everything they can to just take this site and win. I mean, they are basically, well, it's basically over, the 2v5, and they have all the control they need. They have the top 4, they have the side of Train, they can go for the plant, like, immediately, and there's nothing that any player from Vega will do about it. Should be any minute now, just a bit more utility, and then they can go in, but that should be a fact.
Oh dear, oh no, oh dear. That just happened very quickly there. Oh no. A 7-1 victory there for Team Praetorian. A very convincing win. Not much to do that last round. I think, as you said there, Rick, they got the top floor control very easily. And it just all crumbled from that positioning. I don't really know what to say about that last round. Praetorian just dominating Vega, which is what we expect when they're in first position.
It wasn't even like an easy top 4 take. They just went in from middle floor and they just killed 2 players because the members of Vega, they were not watching it. The mute was completely clueless there. He was sitting behind that train and he got killed because he didn't know where the attackers were coming from. He was getting pinched very hard. Someone pushed down from red and someone else jumped in from the window. And there's no crossfire on the side of Train to help him out. He was literally a sitting duck because his teammates refused to in any way facilitate a crossfire for him. So that was one of the cruxes, one of the reasons why Vega basically lost that round end game. Their only round was extremely close as well. So definitely right now, I would say
re going back towards the
very
top bar,
close.
which was it was close, but well, it wasn't close. It was a 4v1 at the end, wasn't it? And he got 2 kills from that 4 versus 1. When plant was going down, one was on the initial planter, then one was on the covering. I think it was the Yana who actually came in from Freezer side. So I wouldn't say it was a close round for that one, but the rest of them were pretty convincing from Team Praetorian there. So we'll be excited to go into the next match, which would actually be Oregon, which is actually Praetorian's match. So Praetorian just won on Vega's map. So make sure to come check us back. We're going to take a 10-minute break here. So we'll see you guys after the break.
And as I say that, Etoile, we go down, Steely gonna come to rescue momentarily, gonna drop into the hands of the Goyo as well. Spooky and Sinji really throwing this back towards Vega's side because they're 4-2 split from what really looked like should have been a major round. Steely now and Gamma with it all to do.
Joe, I see the C4, buddy.
There's an early gunfight that you don't need to give him. It can really spiral the round out for you, but it is good to see that all Vega players are sitting and waiting. Well, Goyo's gonna take a swing. Goyo's gonna win the swing as well. Spooky just locking it out there from Bomb Laundry. That round
easy access into study. But what's interesting is that other shield though, Golo. Oh, double kill coming out there.
Black Eyes to deal with, but the information game coming from them isn't going to be quite as potent as a wonderful shot from Ethan's the Jaeger, able to find Hugeman taking out the Habana. Still the Maverick on board, but for the most part your hard breach is gone. Still half the round to play. Ethan's big double kill finds Antifa.
Previous 2 rounds we smoked. Lucky to be alive, tries to create a melee hole and unsuccessfully so, won't find all that much. Start pull out, looking to send us to a 5-5 position, but Stuso has taken up that same position. Humble Academy going down to the bottom floor, you really couldn't recognize it based off of their defense. Both players on the top floor now fall, Arbo with a double already.
For a lot of role play, and you know, I'm guessing that Humble Academy wanted to try that with both Struso and Riku, but when you do such a high roam presence as I don't it was poorly executed. It was a really sorry roam from them, as the plant does go down. Lasmo is there to get the plant down, but the Overwatch is going to be
walking
from
down the corridor instead, choosing not to go towards Zombie Door, looking for the pick onto 90. We'll see that Oryx will manage to get a little bit of damage onto Icox. Hedgehog finds the pick onto Brumby, as Lucan falls as well. Quick one-for-one exchange between these two teams, as Finka holding on tight from this out, not going to land with its target. Zerakai now the one on the doorway, will find the first kill. F2 Merchant indeed, his last killer finds 2 with the Nitro Cell on side of landing. That's the diffuser down as well. Twitch and Ace, the last 2 remain, hiding behind this bar. There are 2 of them in that position. They're not standing up. They're not giving him the opportunity. Last killer finds Scorps and is flanking now through Study. This is a difficult situation for Twitch to play out. Finds the first onto Icox. Needs 2 more. Make the move onto them with 30 seconds left of the round. Just don't swing this, please. And last killer behind. Uses that
Side to push in. The Hibana already opening things above, and the opener goes the way of Joey. 2 as well, looking for more than just that, but it is a 3 versus 3 because of that early pick with that team kill at 3K. Now for Dallas, looking for even more. Up onto a quad for Joey as well. Bommy, 1 versus 2. There's the first, no second for you. It's Joey with the ace. Vivid take.
Hello guys and welcome back to Talent League, and this is the major game and we are back for game 2 between Praetorian and Vega Esports. If you missed the previous game, it was a stunning performance by Praetorian to take a 7-1 lead against Vega Esports on Vega's map. So we are here back for the second map on Oregon. I am Pyro and I am joined by my fellow caster Rick. How are you? How are you feeling after that last map?
Well, I had a very nice 10-minute break, so I wouldn't say it was bad by any means. But I do say it was a very upsetting moment for Vega, because you don't want to lose 7-1 to anyone on any day of the week. So condolences to them. But then, of course, they do have their chance to turn their luck around on Oregon because they are defending first. And, Oregon is a map where if you defend first, you usually get the advantage. Unless Praetorian are, of course, they're very strong. They're way stronger than Vega in terms of at least what the scores tell us right now. We actually haven't seen them play on Oregon yet, so I can't really tell whether they actually would be, because a lot of teams do get to hone their skills more on Oregon, and they're way more solid. Right now, though, we'll have to wait and see for how it goes. Yeah, we do have all 10 players in. And anyway, ban predictions yet, Pyro? Anything?
Thatcher, Flores, Mira, and Cade.
Valkyrie.
Or Valkyrie. Cade or Valkyrie, either one.
Or Valkyrie, yeah. Although
I wanted to go for 4, which I depend. It's definitely going to be Mira, Flores, Thatcher, and Cade or Valk. It's either Cade or Valk, whichever one. It's one of those combination of 5.
Well, Habana gone.
Oh my god. Sue me already. Get me out of the cast. I am wrong already.
Oh, well, to be fair, right, Vega do have a streak of banning less conventional ops because, a lot of teams just straight up go for the Thatcher ban. But Habana ban, of course, actually very strong on this map. First of all, you have the hatches, which you would not have to rely on other operators to open if they attack the basement. And then, of course, on the big tower side, when you attack top floor, you can no longer rely on Habana. You will have to play Ace, of course. Ace is very strong on the top floor, though, so it's not like it's going to do much of a difference anyway. Thatcher and Kate ban, of course, yeah, at least you got that right. It's big box standard. Everyone bans that right now. It's
That's
ridiculous.
all I'm good for now. That's all I'm good for, getting the default bans. My casting career's finished. What?
Oh my! Oh!
My casting career's done, Rick. I'm just gonna retire.
Oh, I think Bombi wants to retire as well. Look at his chat reaction.
Oh no. Target banning, are we? How shameful. Target banning. Oof. Let's get an F in the chat. Let's get an F in the chat for Bombi, lads. But going on to the first round, we are going to go towards the laundry site here. How would you set it up? Because obviously will they play the smoke shield in elbow?
They should, because it's box. You cannot just let them take elbow for free. That's basically a big guaranteed round loss. And the issue is that they don't have Wamai. You ban Jaeger and then you don't play Wamai, you only play Aruni. That's a death sentence. where's the Wamai? How are you gonna hold this shield? All it takes is one grenade to take you out. Because like the only thing that would stand between that shield and the attackers is the Aruni gate in front of elbow. And that's gonna take a one flash grenade to burn. So it has to be a very strong crossfire from Vega to prevent anything from happening. But then again, you don't have anything to protect that player on Shaiko's spot, of course. So everything is dangerous here for Vega, and it's not looking good, honestly. Especially with about 6 grenades from the side of Praetorian that's gonna get used. 6 grenades
And a hard
and no denial.
Well, the denial, I guess you could have a Rooney, so there isn't technically no denial. There is the Rooney that you can have on Shaiko and the double door maybe, but that's really all the protection you're getting. I know what you're coming at. There's no sort of denial here for the grenades. If you look at the actual grenade count, you were correct with the 6 grenades. Oh, reinforcing, that could be a headshot. No, just finishes. Got so unlucky there. Melusi gets away with his life. I love these castle placements though, slowing down this Nook. That basically saved them from getting a free kill away from this Nook. Although the person on top weight may not be secured here. He's going to go towards top weight. No! Spooky gets a kill on to Cola. Out of nowhere from Attic Kick. That is Cola's gone. But the refrag may come out. Spooky takes a lot of damage there. He looks like he's going to rotate around. But a Rooney of Oxy D comes around and kills both of them. What is going on? Oxygate gets a double kill and it's a 4 versus 2 situation. Already going into this round. Vega Esports already doing a massive amount of plays there as OxyD secures a 3k for that round. What has gone on? All the action towards the top floor on this map and the site was towards the bottom. Rick, what a round.
I don't get it. I don't get it. You know that they are playing roam heavy. Everything is upstairs. So why don't you go for the site? I mean, sure, maybe they have the hatch open and they can look down into elbow, but that is like very minimal control that you have anyway. So like, I mean, at that point, I think that you did play the smoke shield, but then it was basically defenseless. So why exactly are you still trying to play into the realm of Vega? You had 2 players go in there and you failed to refrag that one guy, and that was just abysmal. Praetorian goes from like dominating 7-1 to this very first round. It's like Vega are looking good now, because I actually said before in that last round that Vega's defense is very weak, but then they just prove us wrong with that roam play. But then also it was also largely Praetorian's mistakes coming into that round. So let's see they improve themselves on this one. They are playing the Wamai now, thank you. They have the Wamai Rooney lineup, so they can at least deny utility when it comes to the playoff, because I don't think they can play that same crazy roam play again on this site.
Yeah, no, especially for this side as well. I don't understand why they're not going towards the top floor into towards kids' dorms. That is the strongest site towards this map. It is the primary site for this map, so maybe they just don't like it. But we see what kind of hold they're going for. They're going for a small tower hold. They're going towards that dining room. This could be definitely a hold here if you're holding towards that top of small tower. There's so many places that you can hold and watch if you're the side of Praetorian on the attacking side. So you have to be very careful when doing this.
Oh, that first flash grenade going in to clear out that Wamai. That is not good. That's your Wamai gun. That's most of your denial utility now not even being used. They had the Wamai up there so that he could throw out those magnets and deny that utility coming out from Praetorian, but now that is gone. That was an easy frag there from the rappel. So now Spooky is in a very bad position. Those grenades are going to be the death now for him. The flashes too, they're so much better now since they can flash even if you turn away. So of course, players from Praetorian are now trying to find that player. They see him, but it's going to be actually Cole to get the kill. 3v5, such a clear and precise clean coming out from Praetorian. It's just so good and so fast. They are doing an absolute 180 from that last round. They have the huge man advantage coming out. And now, Vega are on the backseat. Sinji is trying to get something out of it, but the pre-fires are not going to net anything for him now. The thermite charge will go in and then will blow up a big wall for the attackers, so now they can prepare to go for the plant. The issue is that they have to at least get somewhere safe to do that, because there's actually nowhere safe to plant on the entirety of this site. Because you can see every single plant spot on the hatch Oh, there goes Bombi. He gets 1 kill onto Sinji. That's the one. That's the Maestro dead. There is not even a refrag coming out of the Rooney. That was a bad timing from him. And now Avok is the last hope for Vega to deny the plant, but he cannot see anyone. And now he's the last hope period for them. He has to drop the site, but he's being spotted. The C4 goes out. It's stuck on the wall, and it gets shot. And now he has SMG 11 against the SMG. He actually doesn't even get the frag onto the planter, and he's gone. Praetorian gets around very convincingly. 1-1 up for them. An absolute turnaround from that last disastrous attack from them.
I'm going to work on a little metaphor you said earlier. They are a very well-oiled machine, our Praetorian. Ruthlessly efficient in their ways. That small tower clear was perfect. They got the player who was Sinji, who was playing in Shower, the only real opposition to their plant denial except for Avok. And that round just fell apart. Praetorian get that round, get the dining room site, and now Vega Esports have finally decided to go towards the primary bomb site of Kids, and we'll see how they set this up. It looks like it's going for a more default push here, for a more default hold. They've got the Aruni, the Smoke, the Wamai, the Mozzie, and the Mute, so a very intel-heavy denial lineup here. You've got the Mozzie, you've got the Mute. Whenever you see those two, you're definitely not getting any drones through into that site. That is a period, that is a statement that cannot be changed, and that I will hold myself to. There will be no drones getting through towards that site unless they manage to destroy either one of those operator gadgets. But they reinforced the double of the attic wall leading in towards the trophy side. So that is a variation towards this site, which you can do. You can either open one of the left or right walls or double reinforce it. I like to double reinforce it the way that Vega Esports are playing this, as I prefer to play Valkyrie on this site. And it's actually a surprising thing here, Vic, that they haven't brought Valkyrie out once.
I definitely wouldn't discount them for a second there. Vega Esports, they are trying to go for that jack of all trades kind of play, because they do have everything basically on board. They have the smoke for denial, plant denial, they have the projectile denial, and they have the information denial, which is every single thing you need in Siege. So the question would be whether they are the master of all or they're the master of none when it comes to all of those operators. Now, the attack is going to come out from Praetorian on the big tower side. No repel in yet, but either way, it should be quite safe for them to do that, and then they can get the wall open. You would usually play the Maverick on this side of the map because you would be able to open up very large, very powerful lines of sight, and also wall. Oh my god, that wall's soft.
They've got no reinforcements left. If you look at the top left, they have got 0 reinforcement left. That is a free entrance in towards attic. Okay, a bit questionable there from the side of Vega Esports, as it allows Praetorian to enter towards the attic side a lot quickly here. But you have to be careful of the flanks. You see the players playing in that meeting area. You see Avok, you see Oxy D, who are roaming around this area, double stacking towards meeting. So that could be an issue towards Praetorian. You have to be careful of the roamers, of the players who can watch. You have to think of Siege like, oh, I'm pushing towards this way. I need to be careful of where teams can push me. They have managed to open up the bottom side, so they will be watching. And they have droned out Avok here. And he is going to be stuck behind these places. He's going to be stuck in meeting here behind the... yeah, grenades coming out. This is dead. And he's just going to accept his fate there. Coles gets the kill onto Avok. And the opening kill in this round. A minute left.
Detonating. Clear shield is ready.
Well, I think he thought he was safe by being behind that sandbag. I mean, I definitely would do so the same myself a bit. Yeah, a bit. But then again, of course, if it's a red indicator, you're dead. So LCD, he's trying to hold this fort down for a bit more, but there cannot be much he can do since he has the Roni, the gun with 17 bullets, and going against LMGs. And speaking of LMGs, it's not the LMG, but that's 50 rounds against Big, who dies to Dano. It's 5v3 for Praetorian. They are looking, once again, mighty fine. Then Osa's roam clearing downstairs, and now he can push up white, and that should be it. 5v1. Sinji, with 17 bullets on his MG11, he cannot possibly do anything at this moment. He gets 1 kill on the Dano, but that should be about it. Gets 1 more down onto the Finca. It's a 3v1, but he is basically crossfired and dead. Praetorian, once again, absolutely dominant. And on the attack on Oregon, nonetheless, it's a defender-sided map, and they are looking very good.
I think overwhelmed at that point. The main thing I take away from that round, and I think you can agree with me here, Rick, was their reinforcement usage. How are they not reinforcing Power Wall? That is an essential part to holding that site, and it's just forgotten about from Vega. Maybe they have a specific strat where that works, but PRETORIAN just use that against them, exploit the fact that that wall isn't open, and get into Attic with relative freedom there. They kill the players playing towards meeting, and it was a free round. But now, Vega Esports, more importantly, have their laundry site back, playing towards the blue side. And last time they actually played this site, Rick, if you remember on the first round, all of the action was on the very top floor of Oregon in that kids area, where we saw a pretty much a flawless round by Vega Esports. Will that happen again? Or will PRETORIAN change up their minds and go for a blue push? Go for a more default push instead of a top floor vote?
It's definitely not a default push because they're playing a Jackal over the Ace. So that is like questionable. I mean, they do actually okay, they have the 0 with the heartbeat charge, so they can open the hatches, but it's definitely not a default push because they cannot heartbeat anything. That's like crucial in blue at least. So the issue, the thing is that Vega, they are no longer playing their roam play as heavily because they do not have the castle as they did before. Which means PRETORIAN, they would have to make this one very quick, as in the roam clear very quick, if they want to get into the site and clear the utility as soon as possible, because otherwise they're just wasting their time. Vega Esports, let's see if they are aggressive on this one against the attackers. There's one player, I believe, near the site of kitchen security hallway, but they have not pushed up yet. All you have to do is wait for the attackers to push at you. As Avok inside of security, that hatch is left soft, just in case he needs to drop. Now it's getting shot up to be opened, but the issue that self-destruction on TCSG is that it's never reliable, and it took him about half an entire map to open that. But that should be the first kill coming out from Bix onto Bombi. Again, Vega Esports very powerful on this site, and they show it again. They got that very first kill. And now, Bix, they know where he is, but will PRETORIAN commit to cutting him off? Because the thing is that he will not be able to do anything if they have all of the staircases cut off. So we'll see how he does.
It all depends on how the PRETORIAN faces security threat. You see what I did there? Security threat. Because the player playing in security there is a massive issue and a massive persuasion for this site. But you have a look at Bix and Danu here. They could get in a gunfight very quickly. They know there's going to be a player playing towards the hobo position. They drone him out. He's going to swing here. And Danu gets the kill onto Bix, just sprinting around that corner. But look at OxyD and Avok. Avok drops the hatch, but Forever doesn't know the player of OxyD. That was a beautiful bait there by Vega Esports. OxyD gets the kill onto Forever and thrust the round into favor of Vega Esports here. PRETORIAN now need to work harder than ever to get the kill. And this will start with killing OxyD. Coles gets the kill onto there. It's now a 3 versus 3 situation here.
3 versus 3 is definitely not the end of the world, but for PRETORIAN, that is one of the biggest deficits they've had so far since that first round. And now Spooky's going to be the one holding the line against that freezer push. Issue is that he would have to hit all his shots with TCSG, which is again a DMR, and it's not the best situation for him. Not exactly DMR, but you know what I mean. Anyway, the Iana drone will at least confirm that there is no one playing close enough for freezer, but Zero loses gunfight against the SMG-11 of Sinji, 3v2, and Vega Esports are looking very good at the moment. Here comes the push. It's a pinch, but Spooky wins a gunfight against Colts. And now it's a 1v3 for Dano, and he is locked out of the site. He doesn't have he does have a diffuser. He doesn't have a plant position though. He doesn't have a way in. The smoke grenade is cutting him off. There's a player on 2 sides of him, and there's nothing he can do. The shotgun will come out if he tries to go in. He's trying to bait this. He's trying to get at least 1 kill, but it's over. It's hopeless. There's nothing to be done here. And that should be the round. Oh!
Look at that Vulcan timer. Can we just talk about how long that fire is there for? 20 seconds. They popped it at 21. He cannot do anything at that situation. This is why Goyo is OP. Some people think that he's a useless character, but just take example from that last round. And more importantly, Vega actually got more rounds than they did the entirety of the last game. So they are keeping up with PRETORIAN in this game. And on PRETORIAN's map pick, no less.
Give it 1 more month and people will say, oh, that was actually a Goyo buff, not a Goyo nerf or rework, because I mean the shields were powerful before, they would still be powerful now, but the canisters are also very, very strong. And I mean now he has a bigger skill ceiling, but he's also very good in those situations. And you just touch upon it perfectly. It's insane. 25 seconds. That is like more than like the. I mean, usually you would go for a plant and execute at 15 seconds remaining. But if you pop that Goyo canister at that time, then they would also be denied for 10 more seconds already after the round is over. So it's just insane. Now, Vega Esports have tied up the game 2-2, but this is kind of the result you expect on a Oregon defense. So if anything, Praetorian would be the one getting this next round if they can work their way around this defense. So Vega would have to pull out something special here. They cannot go for the same defense again because Praetorian are an adaptable team, I must say, because they have adapted to attacks to the defense before. They do like to switch up and work their way around the lineups. So we'll see how it goes. Very first attempt at an aggressive play from Bix will not net him anything. No one was there. But then again, Praetorian are not as aggressive as Vega anyway in this case. So we'll see if they can get a kill first. Now they are droning out the defense on the side of Trophy. They know where he is. He does not spot the drone. But now that would mean a crossfire if they are not going to deny the armory. So that is going to be dangerous for the smoke. The grenade will come out. Sinji's so low now. He's getting shot up to hell and back. And now they're going to push in. There is a hole from the side of Attic though, so they will not allow that player to push into Trophy.
Talking about that hole that we talked about actually before the round, that is the similar sort of thing that they could do in this round. 2 minutes in though, we talk about that, and Breach is already being open, so no denial. Is there actually any denial that they bought? They bought no denial, Vega did, so Breach is open relatively quickly. They've got trophy control. They can get into Attic relatively easy. Now they're going to rotate around. The Ace is going to rotate around towards Big Tower here and open up towards Attic. Now they can start to do that split push that is most famous for this site. And that will put a lot of pressure onto the side. How close was that? How close was that, Rick, to being a kill there on that player who was just sitting there? It was Sinji as well. One bullet and he would have been straight down. Sinji's got to retreat all the way to the backside towards Attic here. He's in a very dangerous position. But did you actually see where that Iana drone is? Yes, Oxy D is being killed there from the Iana. But
Do they know? Oh, they do.
Low bot. Oh, they do.
Oh, I thought they would not know about the smoke, but the grenade goes in. It does not get him though because he has already retreated. He's all the way in the basement. Very fast rotation coming out of the smoke to get away, but now 3v5. He has to get back and do something for his team quick because otherwise it's very dire. The Ace gets down with the diffuser outside the window though, so that is a good sign at least from Vega. They get basically one kill. 2 kills now as Shindy gets a kill and he's on 1 HP. He takes down the Iana of Colts, and now Praetorian are not as dominant as they looked before. 4v3. The Pinka actually does manage to revive the Ace and put him up to 40 HP. So that's very good from him. Is Bombi aware of the player that goes to him? There it is. There's the duel. The flash grenade goes in. He's blind. He has to push in, but now they don't know where he is. But there is the flank coming out from Sinji that is poorly timed, allowing the force to get the kill. And the crossfire coming out from Dano gets a kill onto the Womai, making it a 1v4 for Spooky. He gets 1 kill, but it's over. Praetorian are once again as dominant as I almost proclaimed they were not.
Yeah, it was a nice repeat there. Sinji almost getting the flank of a sentry. He got 1 kill and downed another, so that could have been a lot better from Vega. It could have been a very different story there from Vega. But they're going back towards the kids' bedroom site here. That is the 3rd time they've gone to kids here, Rick. And guess how many? This is the 3rd time they would have gone. They've been twice previously. And how many times did they win? 0. I don't like the choice. Obviously, they can't go to Laundry as they played it 4th, and that locked the site off completely for the rest of their defensive rounds. Maybe they should have gone back towards that dining side. They did do a little bit better than they did both the rounds on towards kids here, so it could have been an option. But I want to see what variation of the strat they will use. Obviously, the first time they double reinforced that attic wall and left the backside towards tower open. Or this time, are they going to do what they did last round and open up the right side of that single wall, the double wall there, which we are seeing being done. So they're doing a similar sort of strategy towards last time,
I would definitely say don't doubt Praetorian on these attacks. because Vega Esports, they managed to make that last round look a bit closer than it was. But then Praetorian got back on their feet. So it's about also how Vega Esports will deal with these attacks in terms of at least getting kills. Because it was a 3v, it looked like a 3v4 at one point, but then it was a 4v1. I mean, how do you make that happen? And now OxyD, he's playing downstairs, he's trying to get a spawn peek at least, but nothing of the sort. And the thing with Vega Esports is that, I mean, it's not a good side for them because they lost it 2 times now. Or maybe 3, as you said. But no, 2 times. But the thing is that it's closer than the dining attack. It's closer than the dining defense, because honestly, that dining defense, there was nothing they could do in terms of utility. I mean, in the end there, he was basically locked out. So, you know, this is at least somewhere where they can feel a bit more confident about their attack, defending prowess. The thing right now, though, is that there is not way too much going on for Praetorian. They at least are pushing into the bedroom side, and they would be clearing out the trophy utility. I believe the Iana is on top of main stairs again. He should be, and then he can take out that player of take out that smoke playing inside of trophy. And once there, you can establish the crossfire. They are bringing the thermite, which is not the ace. I believe they do not want to get impact tricked again. Last time they did get impact tricked, and that was one of the reasons why they nearly lost a round, but they didn't. So learning their lessons and adapting is exactly how I would describe Praetorian, as I did before. Oh, what a shot from Sinji! Wait, is that a wallbang? That came out of nowhere, and he got the kill onto Daniel. That is huge. That is the round opener for Vega Esports. That could be making it a 4v5. That's a SledgeCon. Ava gets one more kill onto the Iana. That is crucial. The Wamai disc would deny the grenade as well, so there's nothing for forever at all. This is looking very good for Vega. They're looking to tie this half up, but Rafa has something to say about it. He gets one kill onto a Valk, making it a 4v3. Praetorian are still in this round. Do not count them out yet.
Yeah, it's a 4 versus 3, as you said. Do not count them out. With 1 minute left onto the round, they are going to look towards getting wall open, and they do figure out where the player is playing. A little pre-fire comes out, but OxyD wins that. How does he win that? Diffuse has been dropped on towards the main stairs, and he's going to rotate back up towards white. Rafa, you had the ping there. The pre-fire was a little bit unlucky. Forever goes down. It's a 1 versus 4 situation, all against Bombi, who is on the site. He has site control. He gets the kill onto Sinji. It's a 3 versus 1 situation. He's going to look towards white, towards the breach. He's got too many angles to watch. He sees the person white, pre-fires it, just misses the shot. But look at the health towards the Vega Esports guys. But you've noticed where the diffuser is. He's pushing up the main stairs. He doesn't quite see him. He pre-fires for the head, just misses the bullets. 15 seconds left. He has to go for defense. But OxyG is just better in that situation. Swings around and gets the kill. A nice round there from Vega Esports to put it up to 3-3. This is such a closer game than towards the last game.
Certainly is. OxyD in that round was the master of winning gunfights you should not, especially when he was 1 HP playing against Sophia LMG. I do not have the slightest idea how he survived that, but you know, he just does, and now making it 3-3. Like I said before, the top 4 was the better looking side for them, and they made it work this time. And Praetorian, as much as they tried to adapt, they actually just lost to the gunfighting prowess of Vega. Now, the thing is, Praetorian are on the defense. This is a defender-sided map. So what will Vega do about this? Because it's not going to be as easy for them. There have been so many teams that go 4-2 up on the defense on Oregon, and that they win not a single attacking round on Oregon, because a lot of teams struggle to attack this map. So even if this map is always played entirely in League and there's always refined, teams will struggle to attack. So, you know, it's not always clear cut. If switching from the Sophia to the Flores, that is the perfect switch because they don't have a mute. So if someone is playing a shield on the side of elbow, that is an easy clear. The Sophia would have to burn utility, Flores does not. And he even still has flashes remaining to do that. The thing is though, they have the Mira, so that might be a different story for them. That Mira would definitely be looking into elbow, and that's gonna be a bit of an issue for Vega.
Yeah, playing on that E-box with the mirror is a massive advantage for pushing that side. But if you look at the opponents, look at what Vega Esports are bringing. You've got the Ying, you've got the Flores, the Sophia, the Finca, and the Osa. The LMG is heaven. He's just going to push down and carry on there. He puts the thing down. He gets a little bit of damage there from the player playing towards that top side. Avot takes a lot of damage from that engagement between Forever and the Wamai of Coles there. He's playing a very top-heavy roam here for the defensive side. He could actually be killed. Avok's almost on 1 health, but Blitz gets a beautiful kill. Playing behind Avok there. It's a 5 versus 4 situation. They've already lost backstairs control, but have a look at Avok's health. And the impact grenade gets killed. Rafa gets the kill onto Avok and levels out the score right now. 4 versus 4 situation, Rick.
You're at 1 HP! You knew that! And you knew they had impact grenades, so you cannot possibly be playing that! I mean, it would make sense if Biggs was playing that. He is 100 HP, and he has an LMG, but you cannot be playing that as the OSAT. That's such a free kill! Absolute blunder there from Ava. And now, 4v4, Praetorian, even though they do have elbow control still, and they have the smoke, so they don't even play the shield anymore, but it should be quite close. Oh, flick there though, but now he's got immediately refact by Forever. The crossfire from Praetorian is absolute. They make it a 3v3, but the players from Vega are not even anywhere close to the site yet. They are up on the hatches and close to the side, but they are not getting anywhere near to the elbow control that we want them to have, because if you want to win this side, you need that pillar control. Now, the Mira is playing more conservative now, playing more backwards to the side, and I believe they've reinforced off elbow, so that is now quite actually dire for Vega because they don't have much hard reaching capabilities at all.
Control. I think they've actually gave up pillar control here. You got Forever in Freezer.
They did.
And Bombay, who's just going to be watching the long angle and the drop. They know they're going to drop. The shields, not the shields, the Aruna gates are going to be thrown here, and they actually are pushed in towards pillar. So as you said before, to win this round, they need pillar control, and they have got pillar controls. The Ying flashes are coming out now. They now have 4 Yings from the actual last patch that came through. For the duration, it's less time. Second Ying grenade comes through. He's just going to try and get into sight and get with the plant, but there is still 0 smokes left on the board. OxyD's pushing in towards Freezer. The execute's coming down now. Bombi Nitros himself, the person in Freezer's been downed. Forever gets a double kill from Freezer. It's all spooky in a 1 versus 2 situation, and he gets killed from Dano, I should say, on the long angle, all the way towards pillar. But that was almost going to be a round for Vega there, if that because of that Nitro TK, but the 2K in Freezer gave Praetorian that round, and they go 4-3 up.
It's not a TK, it was a suicide. He blew himself up.
I call it TK if I want to.
Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. It was, but I mean, then again, it's like he was as bewildered as we were, because, like, how did that even
I think he got
kill
caught
anyone?
on the bomb. He tried to throw it over the bomb chassis, didn't he, onto default plant.
Yeah, but if you back away enough, you are always safe. So I'm not sure how that actually killed him, unless he was like half of 1 HP. Then that would be like, whatever.
I think it was just
they won the round though.
Yeah, they won the round, but I think it was time pressure. That is the only explanation. 10 seconds left. Plank going down. No smoke canisters left. The teammates must have been screaming, "I've got no smokes left. We've got to go for the nitro here." You know, something similar to that maybe. But
yeah, that could be it. But then again, yeah, like you said, even when he TK'd, they still had very 2 competent teammates who could handle the push in. So nothing to worry about at all for Praetorian. Vega now have a lot to sweat for. They are down 3-4 after getting a very good first half from against Praetorian, or rather, a very decent half. I wouldn't say very good. This is a top 4 defense, and they're not playing over to trophy side, but they are going to be playing so that they will waste as much utility as possible from the side of Vega. You see that Wamai disc next to the Rooney gate. They will definitely try to burn it with flash grenades, and then that will be wasted. So, of course, Praetorian, they have a few tricks up their sleeves.
Yeah, and those few tricks up their sleeves are going to be this hard breach here with Sinji with that holographic on the machine gun there. So a very risky change, going for that more close range gunfights that are prominent on Oregon. There's a lot of corridors, there's a lot of corners that have to be used when pushing in, especially when you're a plant person. Spooky's drone is going to be actually mute charged there, so that's going to be already an RC and a Terror drone out of the way. But a little difference between Vega and Praetorian is double reinforcing that attack, and you see the OP shield there. A lot of people do use this shield. You can get a pixel angle on the right hand side that just watches the way in towards that trophy side. They've managed to gonna get the wall now. So Vega Esports, with 1 minute gone into the round, are gonna be able to get the main breach open here and then start to rotate towards trophy. Not trophy, I mean tower.
Indeed. The utility being used from Vega, though, is way better this round. They have gotten rid of the shield. They have gotten the wall open. The Runigate is going to be easily burned, especially if you are playing the Iana, who is basically the direct counter to that operator. And right now, Praetorian are being pushed back quite a lot. They are stuck now in Attic and on the rotate to Attic, and not like specifically going for any kind of denial. Oh, that Gone 6 is a bit questionable because there's nothing on that wall, and yes, they use it anyway. Immediately mute it. That is not a good sign. And now they will have to go for more direct gunfights. But the plant is now still the priority, and Sinji is still trying to get in, but he has players in his way, and he would have to make it very quick. Let's see how they can facilitate this plant.
Yeah, the flag will come down, the flashes are coming out, they're all getting ATS at this point. So the rotate, the flashes coming out will be coming in, but you still have the 3 smoke canisters from Mafu there. Player comes in, immediately traded out. Spooky gets the kill onto the smoke player, the most important one. So Plank can now actually be going down. 4v4 situation, 30 seconds left into the round. The execute will be coming within the next 10, if not 15 seconds. They have to be careful of Bix though on the long angle. The player's going to run in, Dano gets the kill onto Spooky. The fuse goes down, Akola gets around, and he's going to rotate back towards the white side. They know they're pushing towards white, they know they're coming from this side. The player gets killed on white. The last one's towards this hobo double door here. They know where he is as the gunfire's coming out from Bix. He's just going to stay back here. This is a guaranteed Praetorian round unless he can push in, but no, Coles gets the kill onto Bix, and that is a 4-0. Pretty convincing round there from Team Praetorian, leaving it all towards the last minute, and they go 5-3 up.
Praetorian have a very good ability of making it look close, making it a 4v4, and then winning the next 4 consecutive gunfights in a row. So they are good at, let's just say, janitorial duties. They clean up Vega very fast. 3-5, that 3-5 score proves it. Vega, their attacks have looked strategically solid, but the picks, the teamwork is missing, and that is the most crucial part. Because you had one player push in and he was killed, and then they of course got the refrag. But the thing is that you would not want that to happen, because in a 4v4 you don't want any refrags happening. You just want frags, not the re. So now 3-5 down. They're gonna go down to meeting. This is actually not the preferred side on this map. At a certain point in Pro League, people usually played Showers Hall because they thought, oh yeah, because of the Showers Hall, it is very solid, we can hold it from there. But you cannot do much from there actually, and
it's the old Oregon where Showers was OP. You remember the old Oregon when Showers was you had a window going into Showers, but it was like a little wall, and you had those ratty players sitting in the actual shower corridors, and it was a nightmare thing to get into.
Well, I would not be able to remember that specifically because Oregon was reworked around the time when I got into competitive gameplay. Oh, okay. But then, of course, I get what you mean. But also, if you look at the map composition, and anyone who has a strategical mind, they usually think, oh, that kind of looks like a good vantage point to hold. So we would be playing that. But then they realize it's not that good. And now meeting is actually a very good site because you can swing from both sides of Split. And you can deny it with smoke grenades, and the only place they can plant is behind that stage. So you know exactly where they are planting, and you know where to throw the denial utility. And you can play top floor as well to get that done. So that's why a lot of teams are now holding top floor on the side of Attic and preventing the attackers from going in. Oh, that floor is still getting shot. That is crucial. That is the utility taken out of the hands of Vega and making it look worse for them.
Yeah, and even that, they are still 5-5 right now with 1 minute gone into the round, but they've got this top floor presence in tower, which is very in Attic, I should say, which is very crucial for this round. Bix is using his utility, his Maverick, to get rid of the walls and actually go into, but oh, he's got to burn that again. That's very disappointing there, as the a beautiful shot to get that Aruna Gate back on, and he has to waste a drone here to get rid of it. Yes, the Aruna Gate is now gone, the Sawyer Gate is now down, and they can start to push in, but you have to be careful of Coles here. and also the Aruni, who can push into tower and deny this plan. All they need to do is watch out for this player.
God, what a shot.
Beautiful shot there onto Oxy D as he eliminates one of the players from Vega Esports. As Blix is going to get rid of the below and get rid of the denial that is stopping the Thermite of Singji from getting that bottom wall to go to the plan.
Very dire looking now for Vega. They have the top floor, let's say, cut off, not control, because they aren't getting into attic at all. They are being stopped by Bombay, and that's going to be very crucial. Now the plant will have to come down from Vega, and the thing is that if they cannot deny this player, then they cannot deny the player playing from the back of Split, and that those smoke grenades will be very crucial indeed. That is why exactly right now Vega are not getting in. Bits gets a kill, double kill on the Cold and Bombay. And suddenly the round now turned on its head, and now Vega are in the lead. There's one kill at least from the back from the side of Forever, but now they know where he is. They can swing, they can throw the grenades. It's up to his teammate to protect him, but now Forever can now push up and play more aggressively. That is one kill from the side of the Mute, but now they're switching up their attack and getting massacred. Dino gets a double, and now there's nothing that the Force of Spooky can do. He's basically saving. 3v5 to 1v3. The 3-5 score becomes 3-6, and that round was absolutely just insane. As in, again, I talked before about how Vega makes it close, and then Praetorian just sweeps him up like just so cleanly. You had a 4v3, and then it was all gone because again, everything from Praetorian on the defense was extremely solid. The Malusi playing that position, I was like, oh yeah, he could get killed from there, but then his teammate was covering that push in, so there's actually nothing for him to worry about. There's nothing for anyone from Praetorian to worry about because their teammates are competent on holding the crossfires. It's just insane.
If you could see my face right now, you'd know it's in my hands. They had control of the meeting almost, and they haven't cleared out kids. But I don't know why they're rotating towards green stairs to push into that kitchen, Rick. You know the angles, the default angles watching towards that the door, and the people playing towards that kitchen side. And that ultimately lost them around that decision to rotate their push with 10 seconds left, although you haven't cleared that entirety of the site or towards the top floor. It just baffles me.
It is definitely one of the biggest sins of Rainbow Six Siege is that, oh, we cannot get into the site, let's just fumble our attack and rush somewhere else. You gotta think about the fact that you spent all of this time to get rid of all the utilities, so even if you can't get into the site, it still counts for something. So you have to go for you have to go for some kind of play immediately, because if you go somewhere else, that it's like if you attack a fort, you have two walls. One wall is like 100% health, the other wall is like 50% health, and even if it's now hard to attack that half health wall, you still have to go in. You still have to attack that thing that you put so much work into. So that is just not the play from Vega. 3-6 down is basically match point now. Praetorian are looking to take that 2-0 on this series, as everyone expected them to. Again, 87% of the staff vote. Very, very crucial for them to at least. I mean, it's very crucial now for Praetorian to get this round, and they probably will because it's the defense. But let's see how Vega will attack this, because they're roam clearing, but there's no one here to kill in a way.
Well, I noticed the rotate there between towers, so they know there's a player playing somewhere on the roam. But if you actually see from our observer there that Forever, the player who opened that, is actually in white, is in freezer. So a bit of a waste of time there from Team Vega. They're going to spend up to 1.5 minutes already clearing that floor. They've only just got down onto this first floor here, and Bix is going to be opening up that hatch. But it's going to be a very tough role. He's just missing a bit of stuff there. That's a lot of juice gone, a lot of fuel already out of the board, so you'll only be able to open out one of these hatches here, Rick. So
I was gonna say that Maverick getting buffed, and now he has a lot of juice. He's definitely strong, and this should not be a worry. But the thing is that Bix is wasting so much of it. It's just not even close. It's one hatch, and he's wasted 4 canisters. That is not play. That's not what you want. And now he tosses a grenade in as well. You should not be using grenades on that. Not this one either. It's just, no, not the play. The grenade doesn't get anything except maybe like a Banshee, but now that's a lot of utility just gone from the side of Vega. And now, what are you going to destroy it with? You have 2 grenades on the Finca and Diana, sure. But then again, what are you gonna burn it with? Maybe one of the ace charges, but then that's about it. There's nothing else you can use it with. The Claymore is also not the play, honestly. You have smoke on Twitch, why would you play the Claymore? Anyway, grenade goes in, it gets a shield inside of Freezer, but this is a very splintered attack from Vega. It's 3-pronged, I believe, no, 2-pronged, but it's not solid because now they are still getting denied. That ace charge is now gone. That Freezer attack is basically dead and nothing they can do about it. So now they will have to like choose where do they want to go? Well, into the crossfire of Codes, I would say, as he's the first one to get a kill. That is the Yana gun. It's now one player getting taken out by Spooky, one more player getting killed, 2 players are dead, and now it's a 1v4 from the side of Praetorian, and now everything is over. Sorry, I actually lost the ability to cast there because everything was so chaotic, but like Praetorian getting every single kill there is just so fast, such a quick cleanup.
7-3.
Oh my good lord.
7-3 and 7-1.
Let me just say, that was like a chaotic cast, so let me just rephrase it again.
Basically, everything happened in 30 seconds. That is your cast.
They had a 4v5, and they pushed into every single gun off the side of Praetorian, and did not win anything because they did not get any piece of utility cleared, and they all died one by one. That is basically how I would have casted if I could cast in that situation, because it's just such a mess that I could not focus at all. So my bad, but that is exactly how that round ended, and that is actually how most of the rounds on this map have progressed as well. So there's not like much to say about that topic.
It all comes down to the last sort of 30, 20 seconds, as it's that time management from Vega. I think when they're attacking, they need to. This is one thing. If Vega, you're watching this in your VOD reviews, work on your time management. You're spending 1 minute and 30 to 2 minutes just roam clearing the entirety of top floor, and then you've got a minute to think of an execute, plan your execute, and then execute the execute. I used execute way too many times in that executing sentence, you see. But my point is, Vega, on your attacks, you need to be quicker at the roam clear so you don't waste time. We saw in the cafe game when they were holding bottom floor, Praetorian, they had 1 minute to clear out the entirety of the defense, which was centered around that first floor. So it's like rounds like these, just watch over and see where you could have been maybe a little bit quick on these roam games, set up pre-placed drones and stuff like that.
Definitely, and I would also say that there are mostly factors that are beyond the control of Vega players, and that would be gun skill. So the thing is that Praetorian, they are, like I said before, they are janitors. They clean up the players from Vega, and because in those last seconds they win every single gunfight. If even 2 of those gunfights went the other way, that would have been a Vega round because everything was set up for them as well. So it's not like Vega are incompetent. Like they can actually play the utility, and that is a big thing to say because a lot of teams at this level they cannot play the utility at all. Like they kind of miss the entire point of the game. But Vega, they know somewhat what they're doing most of the rounds, and they just cannot win a gunfight. That's their issue. So, like I said before, the 3-3 defense, that was just a decent result because, again, a lot of teams cannot attack a single round on Oregon, and that just showed itself. Praetorian won 4 rounds in a row, and that is about it.
Well, it's actually 5 because they won that kids defense on round number 6 as well. So they won all their attacks and they won the kids defense the round. So that was definitely a very good game. They are very good on the defensive side of Praetorian. So there's a lot to take away from this one. Both of the sides, actually. Mistakes from both of the sides. But let's have a look at the leaderboard, more importantly, and where that puts our teams. So Praetorian moved to the top of the leaderboard, having 13 points, extending a 3-point lead over Loud Esports, and Vega extend their lead at the bottom, drawing with Maestria and All Track Esports. So they need to get their game going to avoid the relegation playoffs. That is gonna be it from me and my boy Rick and Morty here. Thanks for being a beautiful caster. And
Thank you.
also thank you to Trippin as well on the background noises and the background goings and the running of this league, more importantly. just a little announcement before we actually leave as well, to make sure to catch out tomorrow's cast, which will be, well, Monday's cast. That was my fault. There is no cast tomorrow, so it'll be Monday the 30th, and that is a cast between Barney's Trusted Dinosaurs and Goldinis. So Goldinis are the top of the leaderboard, and that will be Barney's Trusted Dinosaurs. I think it's the first cast on stream, as they did get a forfeit win. I believe that will be tomorrow's game. That was actually a forfeited win. I don't know. I'm saying about the forfeited win. That was it would have been tomorrow, but obviously there's no cast until the Monday. So make sure to come and check out for that Monday's game. And the casters for that game will be me, and it will be our production manager Epsilon on the cast with that. So thank you all for watching. Thank you again to my main caster here, Rick and Morty. Thank you for stepping in for my friend Golu. It's much appreciated. And we'll see
Oh,
you
you're welcome.
guys on the
You're
Monday.
fantastic. Mhm.